Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Sid, A.K.A. Vicious274, coming at you with another podcast with Mr. Mike Schneider.
Mike Schneider Podcast.
We're here today with Sid, as you guys know, and super excited to be here with you and have a fun little chat.
Very stoked to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's awesome. So you just flew in this morning. And,
just got here.
And we're just getting right to it.
We're like, got here. Hey, you know what we're going to do it today? Do it tomorrow? Nah, let's do it now. Get it out of the way. It's good.
Yeah. So people are probably familiar with you from YouTube, I would assume. Mm-hmm. If not, they will be soon. Usually I start with like your history and stuff, how you grew up, a little bit of background stuff.
Sure.
Because it transitions nicely into how you discovered fingerboarding.
Yeah.
So, yeah, tell us about like your childhood, where you grew up and stuff like that.
Well, born and raised in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. My dad is from Brazil, my mom is from Portugal. They moved to Canada, basically got married, went on their honeymoon, came straight to Canada. Childhood, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a typical childhood because I did spend a lot of time on farms. Even though I lived in a city, lived in Toronto, we had a farm in the other city called Mississauga, which is now a huger city, but back then it was just a lot of farmland. Whoa. So I had a lot of time to be out in the open, in the woods, and getting dirty, and just being a kid. It started off with some livestock, like we had pigs, chickens, rabbits, and always had like apples, pears, watermelon, lettuce, strawberries. Ooh. But then it slowly over the years shifted to just produce and not livestock. Mm-hmm. I mean, we always had chickens running around here and there, but it only became about produce.
What happened to the farm? You get rid of it at some point, or?
So the land was never owned, it was leased.
Oh, okay.
And my uncle didn't want to do it anymore. So my dad was like, well, I don't want to do this by myself either. It's going to be way too much work for me to manage 48 acres by myself. And then they just gave it up, unfortunately, because if knowing now, if they had known back then, I'm sure they probably would have preferred to have leased to own that land, because now all that land has been developed.
Wow.
And if they had owned it, damn.
Yeah, then you get a city all around you and like a perfect farm in the center. Or you got the developers offering you like,
yeah,
I'll give you 10 million. You're like, nope. 15 million. Nope. 20 million. Could you do 27? Sure.
I'm sure my dad would have worked something out. He definitely would have sold, but yeah. Now it's sad when I go back into that area and I'm like, oh shit, the house used to be right there. That's where we used to sell all the produce. That's where we used to have the bonfires. That's where we used to have the club come up in the summer because it would close in the winter. Like, we actually had a Portuguese club that my parents would go to in the winters, and in the summers they would shut down because, everybody goes on vacation and does this, that, and the other. So my dad, for a few years, he was like, you know what? We're going to bring the club to the farm. He built a stage, brought the band, did this massive bonfire in the middle. Everybody's dancing and drinking and barbecuing and eating, sleeping over for the whole weekend. It was like a little mini Woodstock.
Cool.
And that's why I miss it. But pretty standard childhood. Riding bikes, skateboarding, as most of us do, because we're fingerboarded. We end up skating as well. Was never very good at it though. I'm never a very good skater. I loved cruising, but when it came to doing like tricks, it was very difficult for me. But I still loved skateboarding so much. Loved it a lot. My favorites are like, I don't know if some of the viewers will remember. I mean, everybody knows Tony Hawk, yes, obviously, but there's Christian Hosoi, there's Steve Caballero, Rodney Mullen, Lance Mountain. Like, I was from that generation. Prior to that, I mean, I knew of the Z boys, like the Jay Adams and Peralta and Alva, but I didn't really learn of them until after I got into the 80s, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't know when they first started, but I learned about them afterwards. And then I got my first skateboard. It was, I don't know if you remember a company called DSC.
Nope.
Dominion Skate. I think they were called Dominion Skate Company.
Cool.
But it was like like the cheaper end boards. It wasn't like a real true professional board. It had like this pink and green neon firefly as the graphic, and then it had like just one square of grip for the back foot and one square of grip for the front foot. It wasn't like the whole board, and it wasn't like double tailed. It was just one end, and then there was just a round nose. It had the nose guard. It had the oh my god, what do you call those stupid things now? Board rails, Jesus. And it even had a tail guard. It was so dumb. It was what I could afford at the time. And I remember I was learning how to do 360s right on the street. Like I'm cruising and then I'd stop to do a 360 and the board got away from me and I fell on my ass and I went into the oncoming lane, and then a car came and just like cracked it in half. And I was like, what the because I think I was like 10 or 11 at the time, and I had bought it with my own money, and I saved for like ever to get that damn board. So having a farm, you have a lot of tools at your disposal. So I was like, what can I do with this thing? Luckily, I had the board rails because that kind of helped it from not completely cracking in half. So I think I got like some contact cement and threw it, just slapped it on the crack of the board, got some screws and just drilled it everywhere. I mean, it lasted for maybe another week and then that was it. The board was done. And then I got into BMXing and then riding bikes and then, yeah, that's basically the childhood I had when it came to skateboarding. After that, I kind of got away from it and got more involved with BMX bikes. And then I started getting interested in girls, as you know, it happens as you get older. And then from there, started hanging out with friends and going to clubs, having fun, and just doing what you do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. How did you meet your wife?
My wife I met, it was just very spontaneous. Like I was working for a company, Rogers Cellular. I was in their accounts receivable department, and they had a kind of like a team building night out. We went out to go play some pool and have some wings and drinks and so on. And one of my friends that I worked with, my wife was friends with her as well. So that day, her nephew was born. So she called her friend who was with me at the get-together. And she's like, oh, this is perfect. I'm here with a whole bunch of friends. You should come by. We'll have some drinks and celebrate the birth of your nephew. So she was like, sure. I had no idea that this conversation took place until obviously after I was with my wife for a while. But I'm heading to the bar, and I see this woman walk in, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, who the hell is that? And I was in awe. I even remember what she was wearing that day. She had this orange, like, cropped puffer jacket because it was like in the winter. And I was just, man, this woman is beautiful. I thought completely out of my league. So I went and I got my drink, and as I'm walking back to the table, I was like, this woman that I just saw walk in is hanging out with my coworkers. Like, what's going on here? So we finally got to talking, and I came to find out that my friend Maria wanted to introduce me to her 2 years prior to us actually meeting. But for some reason, it never happened. And then that night, February 27th, 2000, was the day that I met her. And we've been together ever since. 23 years. Married 20, together 23.
That's amazing. Wow. I wasn't even fingerboarding yet. And neither were you.
No, I was not. I didn't start fingerboarding until 2009, May 2009. That's when I started. I think that's when like the boom came in.
That's my favorite time in fingerboarding, 2009. That was huge.
Very big year. I remember that was when the new mold, the 09 new mold, Berlinwood came out, and people went ape shit for that.
Yeah, and the Black River trucks.
And the Black River trucks, yeah.
Trucks before that. So that was like a huge shift. So how did you get into fingerboarding?
Oh man, fingerboarding was that again just came out of nowhere. We were at my dad's and my brother-in-law's trailer / cottage, whatever you want to call it, and my nephew Nicholas, he brought up some of his tech decks, and he had this. I don't know if you remember it. It was the red spine.
Yeah.
The red tech deck spine.
Cool.
I wish he still had that thing, but he doesn't.
Yeah, I used to have the tan one. I don't know if I have it still or not.
Yeah, he had the red one. I can't remember some of the other ramps he had, but that one specifically I remember because I was like, what are these things? Because I was into skateboarding and I'd never seen these things before. I mean, I'd never even heard of them.
Wow.
And he was like, oh, they're tech decks. You do like tricks with them, this, that, and the other. And I was like, really? I was like, all right, let me see this thing. So basically I would just kind of like random flip it, random flick it off the spine ramp, and then every now and then I'd be landing it, and I was like, this is kind of cool. So he kind of showed me a few things that he liked to do, and then I was more curious about it. So I got back home and I went onto YouTube and I was like, let me see what this is all about. And I just put tech deck, and man, I went down a rabbit hole, man.
Yeah.
It was like, I was like, what is going on here? They have these things made out of wood. And then I came across one of your videos, and I came across an Elias video. And then that's when I was just like, all right, I gotta get into this.
Yeah.
So I went and I got my my first tech deck. It was a combo pack. It was the Tony Hawk. It was a Tony Hawk series. It was a birdhouse graphic, and it had this, his iconic skull and then 2 wings coming out to each end. I rode that thing until the grip was paper. It was like no grip anymore. It was just like white paper. I think I still have that board somewhere. I hope I do, because a lot of my tech deck stuff is in storage, so I'm assuming it's in there. And then from there, I got like the add-on ramps. So I had the bank, then I had the stair set with the 2 handrails. I had the quarter, and then just the flat bank, and I put them all in like a square, because you know how you can like put them together.
Cool.
And then I would do like from one trick to the other, like tricks. I wasn't really doing tricks back then. I was just doing like random flips and whatnot and hoping to land them.
Yeah.
But some of my early videos, my early fingerboarding videos, you'll see those ramps in them.
Cool.
Yeah. There was even I don't know what I was thinking, but I did this one thing where I went from the bank and I kind of did a dark slide on one of the handrails, and then I ollied from the dark slide onto the other rail, and then I would tray flip all while on the grip, like I was dark sliding the whole time.
Yeah.
And then I would tray flip out, and I turned to the camera and I said, I call that one the double axle. I don't know why, it just came to my head, like that's the name of the trick. It's called the double axle. I did 2 rails, it's a double axle. I had no idea, so I was like, there it is. I think it's like, I numbered all my fingerboarding videos. I wasn't very clever when it came to naming videos, so I just did like fingerboarding 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
I think that might have been like 3 or 4.
Is it still up?
Oh, I haven't deleted any of my videos. Everything I put up on YouTube stays on there.
Good.
I've not removed one video.
That's the best. I like that, because then later on, it's like, it doesn't matter if it was stupid or you weren't as good back then. It's like so cool to see.
Yeah, it's your archive.
Your progression and everything.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
good times, and it's funny stuff like that. That's great. I can't wait to see it.
Oh man. Yeah, but that's one reason why I didn't want to remove any videos either, is because, like you said, you get to see from how you started and to where you ended up.
Yeah.
And it's always good to go back down memory lane, which I do. I've been doing that a lot lately, going down and watching like old videos.
Me too.
And it's so much fun. You see people in your videos like, oh my God, that's the day that I met Mike Gibbs. Was at my first event. He had a busted arm, and we talked about it the other day. And he was like, wow, you still have that video up? I was like, yeah, I never take anything down. I love it. Always keep it up.
Yeah, that's great. I hope people listening take that advice to keep their stuff up.
Because sometimes you'll go to somebody's, not so much YouTube, I've noticed, but on like Instagram pages, you'll see something on somebody's page, and then you might want to go back and revisit it, and then it's gone. Or they removed it or whatever, and I'm like, oh man, that's too bad. I want to see that again.
Yeah, definitely. So, at what point did you go from like doing double axles
to actually doing real tricks?
Yeah.
So after that, I found out about wooden fingerboards, And I didn't know about like many companies, but I did know about one. I don't know if you remember Fingerdex.com.
Sounds familiar. Is
Okay.
it Frankie Fingerdex?
Well, he promoted
Okay.
Fingerdex, like he was like their spokesman, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I never
Yeah.
knew what the heck was going on there.
So they had this one deck that they had just released in that year. It was called the D2. And I ordered it off of eBay. It came in. It didn't have any bearing wheels. It had Tech truck still, but it was a wooden board. And I was like, oh my God, I got a wooden fingerboard. This is amazing. But the funny thing is, the board at the time, it had very boxed nose and tail. And when I started using that board in my videos, I used to get comments about people like, that's not a real fingerboard because it's so boxy in the nose and the tail. And when I look back and I think of those comments to today's shapes that we see,
Yeah.
and it's like, I think the D2 was probably a little bit ahead of its time because it was like not the normal style looking fingerboard. But I liked it so much that I ended up getting multiple decks.
Cool.
But it wasn't, and that deck did help me a lot with my ollie. But one thing that was very frustrating for me was switch, and I always like I wanted to learn every direction. And the thing with the D2, it was very symmetrical. Like they were both the same
Yep.
angle, the nose and the tail. So that's when I got a G12. And
Cool.
yes, I got a G12, and that's the board that I learned how to do switch and nollie on.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's why I love that board to this day. It brings back a lot of great memories. I was at work on my desk. Luckily I had my own little like office. And but every now and then people would come over and be like, what is that clicking noise coming from your area? And I'm like, I don't know, I hear it too, man. What is that thing? Like, I don't get it. But it was me like trying to learn how to do switch and nollie on my desk. Just
That's
like
amazing.
killing time. I don't work there anymore, so I don't care if they see this.
Cool. Where was that? At Rogers?
Yeah, no, this was actually for a roofing company.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fingerboarding on the roof of a house too.
Oh man, it was hilarious. I loved it. Missed those days. But yeah, so it was the G12 that really helped me improve my skills. So thank
That's
you.
sweet.
Thank you,
I'm
Mike, for the
happy to hear
G12.
it. Yeah. Cool. And yeah, now we still have the G15.12s, which are a modern version of the G12, a little bit wider and stuff like that.
Yes, and that's why when I got my G15.12, I knew it was going to have the G12 concave, which is pretty much like no concave,
Yeah,
right?
very mellow.
But what I noticed is what the G15.12 is, the wider the deck, the lot more flatter surface you have. So I was able to, I'm able to control the deck, but I got to tell you though, the G15, I was messing around with the .12, and I was like, something doesn't feel right. And then I had this one, and I was like, wait a second. And you had mentioned in a previous podcast about how 32 millimeter trucks work really well on the G15 deck for you. And I was like, you know what? I should probably give that a shot too. And had a little bit more of that low concave that I've become accustomed to with the Berlinwood lows. And I'll tell you, I've been rocking this for a good couple months now. This is like the only setup I have. I have a couple main setups here, but this is primarily my main setup now. And you learn something, like I've been fingerboarding for, when did I say 2009?
Yeah.
So that's what, 14 years?
Yep.
14 years, and I'm still learning new things because
Yeah.
of new products like these. It's
awesome.
amazing.
I'm glad you're liking that one too.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's still one of my all-time favorites. I got a G15 right here also, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I basically designed it to be like the easiest board to use possible, to do the hardest tricks. Like, a lot of boards look good and then you use them and it's like kind of hard to use them. So my thing has always been like functionality first, everything else second. I want it to look nice too, but it's got to work.
It's got to work. If it doesn't work, nobody's going to use it.
Yep. Or they'll use it. The sad thing is when people use a board that sucks, but they don't know that it sucks and it's holding them back. Sometimes you see that. It's like you pick up someone's setup and it's just really bad. And it's like, oh, dude, try this board. And they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
I
That's
can
why
actually-
it's great to go to events, like especially in person.
Yep.
I mean, it's cool, talking with people online and whatnot. But if you can get with a group of friends or go to an event, man, you learn about so much about people and other products as well. And that's why in my early YouTube days, I was like, I did a lot of trading because I wanted to, find out about different products and what worked for me. And then started getting into reviews, and then that just kind of freaking blew up. I was not expecting it to get to the level that it did. It got to a point where it was actually a little overwhelming. Like, I had so many packages at my house. At one point, my wife was like, what are we going to do with all of this? I was like, I got to get this out on video. I got to review these. I got to use them.
So how did that progress? You made a review of something and then people wanted you to review their stuff?
So I think the first review I did was for ProWood. I think he had a Barney Fife graphic deck. And it was purple, and I think that was the very first review that I did. I mean, I was so nervous to do that review that I even had like notes right beside my camera. And you could, if you watch the video, you could see my eyes like kind of shift over to the to the notes. I mean, but that's how it is in the beginning. You do those things. But now, not so much now. I don't do that many reviews anymore. But as I got better over time, I would do them in like one take. Like, I wouldn't stop or edit or anything like that. It was just like, if something happened, like if there was a technical difficulty or whatever to the point where the camera wasn't recording anymore, then fine. But if something rolled off the table while I was doing a review, I would just let the camera keep rolling and just keep going.
Yeah.
But going back to the original question, I did a review for ProWood. And then I started again accumulating some more of my own fingerboard equipment. So I started reviewing those. And then, I think the reason why the reviews did so well was because I actually engaged a lot with the comments. Like, I engaged with the people that were actually putting comments on the videos. I've replied to them. I mean, even if it was a hate comment, I wouldn't go and hate back on them. I would kind of like kill them with kindness. You know what I mean? I'd say something like, "Oh, thanks for the view," or hit that like button or something stupid. Like, how you always used to get those comments like fingerboarding, do it on a real skateboard or something like that. I'd be like, "Oh, thanks for the view." Like, you're telling me to do it on a real skateboard. Apparently you don't like fingerboarding, but you're watching fingerboarding videos. So thanks for the view. That was my favorite one to do. So I think because of that engagement with the comments, people started to watch them more. And then I started doing shout-outs, but the shout-outs didn't really come into effect until I started doing what was called Canadian Fingerboard News. Like, I got inspiration from Frankie Fingerdecks, because he used to do Fingerdecks news for Fingerdecks.com. So there was a guy, Chris, his name was, I think it was Chris, I hope it was Chris. And he was like, I want to do this thing for the Canadian scene, where I want to start, doing like what's happening in the Canadian fingerboard scene. He goes, do you think you can help me out with that? And I was like, sure, if you want to send me what information you have, I could put on video and tell people what's going on. They can go back to your website and check it there. And then from that, I started doing shout outs. So anytime I would get a new subscriber, I would shout them out on the channel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, until you're getting like 100 subscribers new every week. I had like a sheet of paper like this. It was like one side, this side, and then I'd flip the page and that. And I would just go off and you know how crazy the names were back then too. The YouTube names. It was like Chicken McNugget 4527. There's your shout out. And I would do that every week.
Wow.
And then it just blew up.
People love to hear their name read.
Yes, absolutely. I figured if you took the time to watch my video, comment on my video, subscribe to my channel, what can I basically give you in return?
Yeah.
How about trying to get people to check out your channel? So I'll shout out your channel name, and hopefully people go check that out.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's different too. You don't hear many people doing that,
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I think the idea just came to me organically, to be honest with you, because like you said, I don't think I've ever seen anybody do something like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like it. So cool. You were doing reviews and news and shout outs and all kinds of.
And then I got into events.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually didn't do my own event. I always collaborated or helped somebody out with theirs. but it wasn't until I didn't start doing that until after I went to my first event, which was Rendezvous 8. Rendezvous 8. What number are you at now?
Like 31, 32.
Yeah. So Rendezvous 8, I think it was like 2010 or 2011. It had to have been around there because I started fingerboarding in 2009. So yeah, it had to have been 2010, 2011.
That's crazy.
And it gets even crazier because the first rendezvous I went to, I was outside, waiting with everybody, blah, 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 blah. And then you open up the door and everybody just like mad rush the door. I had never seen anything before like it in my life. I was like, this is insane, but it was so much fun at the same time. I met you for the first time there. I met Harry. I even have a picture of us where we're kind of like hugging each other, and I'm doing the two fingers, and one of my fingers looks like it's in your nose, but it's actually just like right in front of your face, but it looks like it's in your nose.
Dude, you gotta send me that picture.
I'll definitely send you that photo. And then it was funny when I met Harry, I was at you had like that station where you sold all your products, and I hear this voice behind me just shout out, "2 fingers, peace!" And I turn around and I look, it's fucking Dirty Harry, what the hell? So he had an injured wrist at the time, and I just went and I smacked his wrist like and just brought him in for a hug. And then after I realized, I was like, oh damn.
Whoa.
He was like, that's okay, no worries, it'll be fine. But yeah, and then I made it to several rendezvous after that. But the one that I always remember the most was Rendezvous 10. I used to get out to the April ones. And at that time, we had become pretty good friends. And you asked me to introduce the crowd into the rendezvous. I don't know if you remember that, but you did. You came out to me, you're like, I want you to be the one to go open the doors and introduce everybody in. And I think Black River even has a video of it, of me introducing the crowd. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it was a memory I'll never forget.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, I don't need that information.
Yeah, that was at the old place, like by the laser tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the year Ollie was there.
Cool.
And we went playing laser tag. He was like, we gotta go play laser tag. I was like, okay, we're going. Let's just finish up here first. Winkler was skating in the front area before he even had the place set up. Oh my God, Winkler, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Miss that guy.
Yeah, it's cool to see him back a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. The wheels are coming back. He's been fingerboarding.
I know, that's crazy. He's like super legend OG status. Like, he's been around for so long. When I was at his place many years ago in Munich, he had like really old fingerboard ramps that he made. Like, I don't remember what year he said it was from, but I feel like it was from like the 80s or 90s or something. It was like this half pipe like in his bathroom, and it's like good, like a good quality half pipe.
Damn.
And it was like really old. Huh. He has like a lot of cool old stuff.
I've seen some of his old finger shoes that he used to use. They were like those rubber thimbles.
Yeah.
Only Martin, man.
Yeah.
The first day I met him, I think was at Rendezvous 10 also. He gifted me this fingerboard, but I don't think it was one that he made, but he goes, I'm giving you this board because the man on here looks like me, and now you will never forget my face. It was this white graph. I think it was a beer, and it's a Munich something, and it was just the side profile of this dude's face. And I looked and I was like, yeah, kind of does look like you.
That's amazing.
He's a character.
Yeah, he's always like hitting you with the humor and the sarcasm and like just goofing around.
Yeah.
So funny. That's cool.
I hope to run into him again one day because that was like, I think the first and last time I saw him.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in ages, but it looks like he's fingerboarding again, so.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll run into him.
That's one thing I've always loved about this community though, because you meet somebody and it's like you've known each other forever.
Yeah.
But you're just meeting each other for the first time.
It's crazy.
So strange.
And if you don't see them for a long time and then you see them again, it's like...
You just pick up from where you left off.
I saw you last week, even though I saw you 7 years ago, something like that. It doesn't feel like 7, it feels like maybe 3.
Yeah, it has been a long time.
It's really cool, though.
Yeah, the last time I was here was Rendezvous 25. That was 2017.
Crazy.
6 years.
Yeah. That's insane.
Goes by quick, man. I definitely hope it won't be another 6 years before you see each other again.
I feel like it won't.
Nah.
I don't know. But yeah, it's like people come and go into it. Like, were you fingerboarding that whole time as much, or did you kind of like get distracted, whatever, busy with other stuff, and then like kind of get back into fingerboarding more, or were you like doing it the whole time?
The whole time that I was posting videos on YouTube?
Or I mean, just like between
just in
the
general.
last time I saw you.
Oh yeah, no, I've been fingerboarding. I fingerboard almost every other day.
Okay.
I just don't record because I mean I've had so many things going on in the last 5 years with like businesses and family and I always said to myself that if my videos started to feel like work more than fun, then I might not focus on it as much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not that they weren't fun, but they did start to feel like I was not being pressured to do them, but because I'd been doing it for so long and that's what people were expecting from me, that I just kept it going. But then other things came in, and we'll probably talk about those things later on in the podcast. But yeah, other priorities came about, but I've always been fingerboarding. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's awesome.
This one I got years ago, and I still use it to this day. It's thrashed.
Oh yeah, it's pretty shredded.
Yeah.
Yep.
I still use it. Still work.
Yeah, that's great. That's cool. That's good to hear, because I feel like a lot of times, like in fingerboarding, when people aren't posting stuff anymore, it's just like, it seems like they just stopped, It's just like, oh, they're not fingerboarding anymore. And a lot of times they really are.
Yeah.
So people will be stoked to hear that, I think.
I'm one of them. I mean,
Where did Sid go? It's like,
I've gotten
he's
back
around.
into, I've posted a few videos here and there of actual fingerboarding and of events as well. Started getting back into that.
I've been liking your new videos.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. I've been adding some other content on there aside from fingerboarding. Sneakers is another passion that I've gotten back into over the years. It doesn't get as many views as my fingerboarding videos do, but I can understand that because my channel, people come there for fingerboard content, right?
Yeah, totally.
But I've been going to more and more events, and I've been noticing more and more people getting into sneakers, so I figured maybe there's some fingerboarders that want to see sneaker videos too.
Cool.
So I just post my stories on how I get those shoes.
That's sweet. I don't know anything about shoes or clothes or anything, so I'm curious a little bit.
Well, I mean, I've always been into sneakers from, I mean, I'm wearing the year and the shoe that got me into sneakers. It was 1989,
Wow.
and it was this shoe.
And before that, you were just barefoot, right?
No, it's not that I was barefoot, but I got into I was always a fan of Michael Jordan, but I could never afford Jordans when I was a kid. This is basically the same shoe that I'm wearing right now, just a different colorway. And I was watching this movie. It was called Do the Right Thing. Do you know Spike Lee, movie writer, director?
I've heard of him, but I don't think I've seen that movie.
Okay, so he did this movie called Do the Right Thing, and there's this scene where one of the characters, he's wearing this shoe, and this guy runs over it with his bike, and that's when you really get a close-up on the shoe, and I was like, damn, that's a beautiful sneaker. And that's when I was like, okay,
Wow.
I got into them. But I can never afford Jordans, which these are the Jordans, and so I got, substitutes, stuff that was still kind of, cool to wear, but not as expensive. And I guess it would be kind of hard to explain because you probably don't know some of these brands, but there was Champion. But people wear those Champion sweaters.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Well, they used to make some really nice suede sneakers back in the day. They were called their trainers.
Cool.
There was Fila's, there was British Knights, Nike, obviously. I never was really into Adidas. And then that was kind of throughout high school. After high school, I got more into DC, Vans, and stuff like that. Because I was really getting back into enjoying watching skating and the culture of it again. But then COVID hit, and everybody was at home, bored, scrolling through their things, and I started watching these videos, and I was like, oh wow, these sneakers are getting kind of expensive, but they're actually a really good investment also. Believe it or not, depending on the model and and a demand behind the shoe.
Yeah.
For example, this one right here that I'm wearing. So this one retailed after tax, and I'm speaking in Canadian dollars, was $300, brand new, after tax. But now that I've used them, you figured the value would have gone down, right?
Probably, but they look brand new or like close to
Well, I try to keep them as in good condition as I can because
look really
they're actually
nice.
up in value.
That's crazy.
They're worth more used than they were brand new.
Crazy.
Like if I had never used this sneaker and wanted to resell it, I could probably sell them for almost $550
Wow.
Canadian. But now used, I could probably get 400. So I like that idea. I didn't realize that it was becoming like almost like a market. Like there's an actual like sneaker market, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with values of this, that, and the other. So I was like, I can get my shoes that I want, but they can still be an investment. So it's not like I'm losing money. And now that I'm an adult and I have some disposable income, I got back into them again.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
And it's nice that you can use it and retain value in it. You don't have to just buy it and stick it in a box and wait 10 years and hope somebody wants it. It's like,
Yeah.
you could do that too, but you can also wear it and enjoy it.
Because when I was younger, there was no such thing. Like we wore our sneakers and beat them to the ground and then they were garbage.
Yeah, I still do that.
Yeah, I mean, I do that with other sneakers too.
Yeah, until like I step in a puddle and my foot's soaked, I'm like, all right, I need a new shoe now.
But if I didn't know about the resale market, I probably wouldn't have gotten back into collecting sneakers. But because I saw that there was a potential to make your actual investment back, I said, why not?
That's cool because then you can enjoy the hobby and know that you're not just wasting money.
Exactly.
You know, and it's like, it doesn't sound like you're doing it for the money, but it's like it's a nice bonus.
Yeah, it's just a perk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm up to about 17 pairs in my collection now of Jordans.
Wow. So do you have like a whole like area full of them?
Yeah, I
Keep them
actually
in the box and everything?
Yeah, I have like not so much display cases, but they're more of like protective cases to
Yep.
keep them away from like UV rays and dust and stuff like that because that could damage the materials over time. So I got those, and they look actually kind of cool stacked up.
Yeah,
If you watch one of my sneaker story videos, you'll see them behind me because I use them as like the backdrop.
Cool. Yeah, now I want to check it out now that I know something about it.
I have a playlist, so you don't have to go scrolling through all the videos. It's just called Sneakers, the playlist. And what my idea was when I started doing these stories was that I wanted each one to kind of carry into the next video. So it's kind of like a continuation.
Cool.
So the idea is that every sneaker pickup has a story.
Yeah.
So then at the end, I'll kind of give a little teaser about what the next shoe is going to be, and then I end it with saying, but that's a different story. Kind of like that cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Keep them hooked.
That's sweet.
So yeah.
I watched your video in Portugal at the Yellowood store.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. I mean, if you watch the video, I think you can kind of get a feel for it, but...
Yeah, so I mean, there's a few things that were on my bucket list, and that just happened to be one of them, was to visit the Yellowood store. And last April was when we went, April 2023. So my cousin came with the idea that we were going to tour Portugal, and I was like, perfect. We're going from the north to the south, or the south to the north. I don't know. We did one of those directions, and I was like, okay, if we're going, I just need to do two things. There's only two things I want to do. One is I got to go visit this store. It's called Yellowood. Second, I got to meet this guy his name is Andre Corral. He's the owner of this company called Lowpro. I've been talking to him for well over a decade online, and he said if I ever come to Portugal that we have to connect. And my cousin was like, cool, we'll make it happen. So I didn't realize when I got there that Yellowood was only doing by appointments. So Philippe knew I was coming. Like I had messaged him on Facebook, and I went to the website to get the address, and it said by appointment only. And I was like, oh, I mean, he knows I'm coming, but do I still have to book the appointment? I was like, I'm just gonna take my chances, and I just went there anyways. He knew I was gonna be there that day, and it had rained that morning, so the outdoor park that's on the outside of the store was just complete like dirt and water, and it was not rideable. So I was like, well, that sucks. But I'm still standing in front of the Yellowood store, which was freaking awesome. And yeah, if you walk in and it's like this long, tall stairway. I mean, like this is stuff that you obviously don't notice in people's videos until you actually see them in person. And then it was just like this crazy like museum of like walls and walls of fingerboards, like the stuff he's made, stuff he's traded with, stuff that people have sent him. And it was just awesome to see that. And then he showed me other areas of the store, and then we went out to the back on the patio, and luckily that was dry, so we were able to do some really cool fingerboarding there, and it was just awesome to be there. I have a few other places that I want to visit too, obviously in Germany, the AC Berlin store, but hopefully one year I'll get out there. And then I messaged Andre from Lowpro.
Yeah.
And we unfortunately didn't get to connect until the very last day before I took off. So the day before we took off. And it was with me and him, it was a little bit more of a quicker connection than I had with Philippe, because I did speak with Philippe for here and there online, but me and Andre, we just had more conversations with each other. And it was like we were talking about earlier, you know how when you meet somebody, you share that common interest and it's like you've known each other forever?
Yeah.
It was the same thing when I met him. He's such an awesome guy. We basically just went out for a couple of drinks with me, him, and my wife. And my sister and my brother-in-law, my cousin, and her husband were there as well, but they had gone to do something else and met up with us afterwards. And then we were all just kind of sitting around chatting, and then they all kind of clicked with Andre. So they were like, hey, you know what? Let's go out and grab something to eat. We went out and grabbed something to eat. And I don't know, we were probably out for a couple hours, laughing, talking. And then we were like, let's take this back to the Airbnb. And then about an hour after we got to the Airbnb, everybody was fingerboarding. My sister had never fingerboarded in her life. My cousin never fingerboarded in her life. My brother-in-law's never fingerboarded in their life. But on that night, everybody was fingerboarding.
Wow. That's so good.
It was such a good night. Yeah, it lasted till about 3 a.m. and I had to be at the airport for 7. Hey, but I don't regret it. It was something that you can never duplicate. Like that is an experience that I'll remember forever.
Totally.
Yeah.
Andre is awesome. He's a good dude.
Such a good guy. And now my nephew Nicholas, who introduced me to fingerboarding, he is going backpacking on the 23rd of September, and he's just going blind. Like he's like, I'm just gonna go there, and where I go is where I go. But I'm starting in Lisbon, and I was like, perfect. I got the guy that you got to connect with, because Andre was like so gung-ho about, you got to go see this, you got to go see this. This is such a beautiful place. Like he wanted to help us out with our planning. So I said, I'm going to message Andre and see if he can help you with cool places to go to. So they connected through Instagram DMs, and he's going to be meeting up with him when he gets there.
Yeah, that'll be so fun.
I can't wait. Can't wait to hear his stories.
The first time I was in Germany, the last day, or like the last night really, Martin let me go, like, you know where the bowl is, or I guess you haven't been yet, right?
I have not been to
Germany. Well, they have
yet.
this place where they're skate bowl, and there's some fingerboard parks and like a few other things to skate. And Martin let me go there like at night, and he was just like, yeah, you know, just stay there as long as you want and then just leave when you're done. And so like my dad was like sleeping on this couch in there, and like I was just skating like all night, because it was like we had to leave by like, I don't know, 4 or 5 like to catch our flight at like, you know, whatever, 9 in the morning or something. And so it was just like, I'm just gonna keep going, you know, just enjoy this until the last possible moment. And then so I was just skating like so much like throughout the whole night, because it was like, you know, last few hours in Germany, gotta make it count, right?
Absolutely.
First time there ever, and it was like such a dream. And then I remember like driving to the airport, and my dad's like, make sure I don't fall asleep. And I was like, what? Like, what? Like, obviously he was fine, but he was probably a little tired from just like sleeping on a couch instead of like a proper room.
Well, how long were you up there for?
I don't remember. I would guess maybe 5 days or something like that. I don't know.
But I bet you those last few hours in that park just like flew by because you're having so much fun.
Yeah, totally. We'll change topics here, just for fun. And I'm going to ask you, what was your biggest mistake?
Biggest mistake? Oof.
In life, anything.
In life.
Yeah.
Wow. This is where we get deep, isn't it?
Yep.
I don't know. Biggest mistake. That's a tough one.
It's probably good if like something big doesn't jump to mind right away. You're probably in a pretty good spot.
I mean, yeah, because everything I've done in life has gotten me to where I am. So I mean,
That's how I look at it too.
I think one of the things that I guess, I don't know if it's so much a mistake, but I wish I would have come out of my shell a lot sooner than I did. Like, especially when I was a kid, I find in grade school and even in high school, I'd be kind of shy, wouldn't really like introduce myself to people, or there was like I was very timid that way. It didn't help that the high school I decided to go to, nobody from my grade school went to. Like, I was basically walking into a high school solo with no friends, like no previous friends, so that didn't help.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I think that if I maybe been a bit more outgoing when I was younger, maybe I would have been more outgoing more throughout my life. I don't know. I mean, I think what really helped me with that was actually being in front of the camera, believe it or not.
Cool.
Because there's times when, even now, to this day, I'm still working on it. I still get very shy and timid, like especially if there's like big groups and there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I may just slip away for a little bit just to be on my own, just to kind of like, because I also have tinnitus. It's that constant ringing in your ear. So sometimes if the room gets like really loud, it could kind of like be a little too much. So I'm working on it though. There's still times where I do get timid and shy. I mean, seeing me on camera, you wouldn't think it, but yeah.
No way, I would never guess it. And even when we're hanging out, because we know each other, so we're not really shy around each other.
Yeah.
But I think we're both somewhat shy in certain circumstances. But together, we're not.
Yeah, because when I first met you, you were a lot more, I want to say, reserved.
Yeah, probably.
Than you are now.
Yeah.
Because like you were, I don't want to say timid. That's me. I'm timid. But you were maybe more shy. You were a little more shy. You were a little more shy when we first met. And then over the years, I've noticed a big change in you as well. And I think it just comes with age too. Like, you become more confident in yourself, and
totally, confidence is a huge one.
Yeah.
And it's like, when I wasn't confident, I didn't think I wasn't confident. But I simply wasn't as confident as I was now. And it's something you kind of get with time and with age and experiences and stuff. And at least for me, that's kind of how it went, is like my confidence gradually grew. And then I realized, like, there's no reason that it didn't, like, it could have been there the whole time. Nothing really, there's no reason why it wasn't, except that it wasn't. Like, if that makes any sense at all.
No, I hear what you're saying.
A lot of times we think like, oh, like, that's something that other people do. Like, I'm not as good as that in this and whatever. And it's like, no, like, everybody's a person, so there's no reason why you're any less, or, you're nothing less than anybody else is. So if you see somebody being any level of confidence, you can be that same level, like, or just comfort with talking and whatever.
But
it's simple.
And then there's some people who, they kind of don't know where that line between confidence and cocky is.
Yeah. That's another thing, actually. When I was younger, I specifically wanted to make sure I didn't come across as cocky, and I probably said too little in a lot of situations because of that.
Because you didn't want to come off as being cocky. Yeah, I get it.
And now it's like, I kind of know how to not, at least I think I do. I don't think I come across cocky, and if I do, it's by accident. But it's like, I would rather say what I want to say than not say it at this point. Because it's like, I had enough times when I didn't say what I should have said, and then later it's like, oh, I could have just said it. It couldn't have gone that bad,
Yeah.
Probably would have been better.
Yeah, we've all had those moments where you're like, man, I should have said this, or I should have done that. Damn.
Yeah.
Those were some of the mistakes.
Yeah. But like you said, those get you to where you are now.
Yeah.
A lot of us need to have those in order to learn the proper way to do it, that you don't overdo it, you don't underdo it, but you have to, at some point, maybe do a little of both of those, so you figure out what the right amount is.
And everybody will, like, I've learned, like, everybody will get to a point in their life, doesn't matter, it could happen at any age. It doesn't mean like when you get older or so on, but I'm talking because of my own personal experience. But you're going to get to a point where in your life where you're going to be like, do I really care what other people think about me? Like,
Yeah.
is it really that big of a deal? I mean, I came to the realization that if I treat other people the way that I want to be treated, that should be a good interaction.
Yep.
But if I treat somebody with respect and then they turn around and treat me like a dick, well, then I just have no time for you.
Yeah, then you know that's on them.
Yeah.
That's not anything you did. No matter what they say or do to you, it's like, oh, that's all right. You're a little, get out of here.
Yeah, and then once I realized that, it just made me open up a little more.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's good advice. The next thing I was going to ask is, do you have any good advice for people? So that's kind of...
Well, I think this is good
Perfect
advice here,
segue.
too. I've been looking at this all day. When I first walked in, I was like, yeah, I like that.
Do more of what
Makes you happy. That's good advice. As long as you're not hurting somebody.
Yeah.
Just don't hurt people. Just be happy.
Well, some people do like fighting and stuff, as a discipline, as a martial art.
Yeah.
Like not random fighting, but like both people want to be there doing
Like
it.
organized
assault. Like UFC or
UFC
whatever.
and
I'm not
boxing.
into it. I don't even want to see it. I don't like watching like people getting hurt, even though I know they signed up for it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of boxing and UFC in general also, but my dad and my brother-in-law are. They love it, especially my dad. He goes
Cool.
shit for it. So when there is a match or whatever, and my dad and my brother-in-law are going to watch it, I like to go over, not so much to see, not to see the fight, even though sometimes it depends on the fight. I do enjoy it, but it's just I love watching my dad watch the fight because he's sitting in his chair like this, and he's like, no. And it's like he's getting in, like he's the coach or something on the edge of the ring. It's like, no. And my dad was always this type of guy that he didn't like to curse in front of his children, so he would say like gibberish. He'd just say like these weird things like, and I was like, what are you saying? What's wrong with you? He's like, don't worry about it. So yeah, it's the whole interaction with my family when watching the fight is what I enjoy the most.
That's fun.
From that.
Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, I know some people that are into it too. My dad watches it occasionally.
Yeah?
I don't think he gets that into it.
No, my dad is all
I'm
into
gonna
it,
have to
man.
watch him next time and see, but yeah, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, if you're not doing stuff that harms people,
or if you have the consent to do like the two fighters do.
yeah, it's really cool actually. You know Ralphie? I think you met him before. Fingerboarder.
Yes.
His brother is a professional fighter.
Oh.
Which is really cool, and I didn't know that till I seen his face on the cover of like this Andover magazine, because he's like from my area too.
No way.
And I was like, why does that person look so much like Ralphie? And it was his brother. I don't even think I've met his brother before. Like, he looks so much like him that I was like, there's like a Ralphie on this magazine. And it was his brother, and it was an article all about how he's like a champion fighter. He's like really good. And
that's
he's, like,
crazy.
Never losing or something. Awesome.
Congrats, man.
Yeah. A random little thing, but I thought it was super cool.
Yeah, but you know what? You look a lot like your brother, too. Like, you and Dylan look very similar. Yeah.
Cool.
You may not see it, but believe me, other people do.
Yeah, sometimes I see like a little hint of it.
Yeah?
I know what you mean, yeah. Or like sometimes I'll see like a certain like photo of one of my parents, and I'm like, whoa, I look just like them in that photo. Like a certain angle or something.
Oh, for me, it was instantly when I saw my daughter, I was like, that's me.
Cool.
Oh, right away. And then as she got older, she's 19 now. 19.
Wow.
And my wife was getting like, I don't want to say upset, but she'd be like, everybody says she looks like you. Nobody ever says she looks like me. But as she started getting older, she started showing more characteristics of my wife. And then people were saying, hey, you know, Haley's looking a lot like you know. And it's like, oh, so she is my daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's funny. I saw it right from day one. I was like, that is mini me. So I named her Short Stack. That's my nickname for her, Short Stack, because I was really into poker playing. That was actually when she was born was when they had the hockey strike and poker blew up on television.
Whoa.
Yeah. So like poker being televised, you didn't think it'd be a big thing, but it was huge. And they even got me into cards, and I never liked to gamble. Never. until I started watching and learning how the whole strategy of Texas Hold'em works. And she was born around that era. And I didn't really want to call her Mini-Me because, you know, everybody would be like, oh, you got that from Austin Powers movies and blah, blah. So I was like, what can I come up with that's my own thing? And I was like, short stack. So short stack is when you have very little chips left. They call it a short stack. So I was like, yeah, she's my short stack.
That's great. That's so cool.
I even named a business after her. It was a very short-lived business. It was called Short Stack Cleaning Services. I had one job, and it was at the... Are you familiar with the Rogers Center? It's the Sky Dome in Toronto.
I don't know.
The big baseball dome that opens and closes.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was hired to clean the carpets.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How was that?
First job. First cleaning job ever.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Needless to say, it didn't go very well. There were there are some dirty people out there, man.
Oh, I can imagine.
It was not good, and it's not that it was totally disgusting. It was just like it would not come out of the carpets, and so the person who hired me wasn't too pleased that I wasn't able to get all the stains out. So she was like, hey, yeah, we won't be using you again. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I get it.
You're like, yeah, I won't be cleaning carpets anymore either.
Yeah, because after that, I was like done with that business. Nope, no thanks. I had no passion for it. I don't even know why I got into cleaning. I was like, we used to do it as a part-time with my dad for banks when I was a kid, and I thought, maybe it's something I can get into, but no. Never again. Now I got a different business. I don't know if I can talk about that business. I mean, it's not that bad.
Top secret. Oh, it's real bad. It's
not that bad. It helps people quit smoking. I mean, that's what,
actually a cool
that's what
thing.
It's meant to do. I mean, I know there's always going to be people who abuse it, but it's meant to be used as a tool to quit smoking, and it helped me. I was a smoker from the ages of 16 to 35.
Wow.
I want to say. Wait a second. What year are we in? 2023?
2023.
And I quit smoking 10 years ago, so no, longer.
Oh.
39.
Wow.
Yeah, 39 is when I quit. Yeah, so cool. 16 to 39.
That's good for anybody listening, even if you're in it for many years, you know, to know that it's possible to quit.
Yeah. And it's also very fulfilling because I have customers that I haven't seen in so long, and they'll be like, I don't even need to vape anymore. Thank you very much. You've got me off of cigarettes and you got me off of vaping. And I was like,
that's cool.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So I've been doing that for about 5 years now, and it's I've had my own store for 5 years, but I've actually been in the industry for about 10 years. So I started off working actually in a lab that creates the e-liquid recipes. So I know all the ingredients that are involved, and they're all pretty much food grade. And actually, what a lot of people might not know is that the main carrier in an asthma inhaler, it's called propylene glycol. That's actually in e-liquid as well.
Whoa! So it's like but it doesn't have the asthma medicine. It's just like the.
It's the carrier, the propylene glycol. Yeah. They actually use propylene glycol in ventilation systems in hospitals because it's actually an influenza killer.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. Nicotine on its own, it has about the same effect on the body as caffeine. Like there's nicotine in like vegetables, like tomatoes and eggplant and stuff like that as well. But in cigarette form, it's highly addictive because of all the added crap they put in the cigarette to make it super addictive. That's the problem.
Yeah. So that's why when you switched to vaping, you saw a lot of people like able to quit totally.
Yeah, I mean, just by my own example was when I was a smoker, I was noticing myself going outside at least once to twice an hour to have that cigarette.
Wow.
It was like impaled in me to do that.
Right.
And then when I started vaping, not right away, but as time went on, because it was like I went hours without having to go out for a vape, because there aren't these added things in e-liquid to make the nicotine super addictive.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's actually helped me cut back a lot.
You had any other cool businesses?
I'm pretty sure I might have. I mean, our farm was a business, and that was freaking cool as hell. Like, we used to do farmers markets.
Nice.
That's actually how I came up with my store name, Vapors Market, is because I used to work farmers markets. I've been in customer service my whole life, since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
I've been in customer service, and I love it. I got so into it that there was one point where it was like a super hot summer, and I had this snow cone maker, and it even had like the apron and like the hat and everything, so you looked like you were working at like a Dairy Queen or something.
Yeah.
So I got dressed up in that costume, started making snow cones, and you couldn't imagine the amount of people that were coming around just to get this snow cone from this little 8-year-old. This is hilarious. I loved it.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how I came up with the name for, well, I had some help coming up with the name, but yeah, we landed on Vapors Market because of that. And then my sister, she did this really cool collage of photos of when my dad first got the farm with my uncle, and then pictures of me working at the farmer's market. And then in the bottom, she put a text that says inspiration for Vapors Market. And this is where it came from. Just family business.
Nice.
We've always been a family of entrepreneurs.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You got any advice for people who want to start their own business?
Make sure it's something you love to do.
I agree.
If it's something you don't love to do, it's going to drain you.
Yeah, and you're not going to be that successful. Because you
have to have a passion.
Yeah, when times are hard, you need the passion to like get you through it. And when times are easy, you need the passion to like keep you really inspired to keep innovating no matter what, or keep even just doing it and all of that.
Yeah, before I got into that store, I actually worked out of a briefcase. So all the products were in the briefcase.
Home
and
delivery service?
Yeah, absolutely. I would meet people at like a coffee shop or their house, my veranda, wherever they wanted to meet. I would bring them to help them quit.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's like I said, if you don't have that passion, like when we opened the store, I was so passionate about it that I was there 7 days a week, Monday to Sunday. No days off. But it didn't feel like work to me.
Yeah, totally.
It was mine. It's mine. So, I mean, it's like my second home.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of downtime when you have your own store because people aren't coming in like constantly like if you're in a mall, right? It's just like, every now and then somebody strolls in. Hey, how you doing? How can I help you? This, that, and the other. And then they'll leave and maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe an hour will go by where nobody else walks through the door. And that's how it will be in the beginning.
Yeah.
When you first start a business, it's very tough. And so there is a lot of downtime. And, it just, it doesn't get as... There's not a lot of pressure of somebody always looking over your shoulder. You're the boss.
Yeah.
So that's a perk too. But again, if it's not something that you're passionate about, it will feel like work, and you might not even want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And you're a prime example. You've been doing this for what, over 20 years?
Yeah. I always tell people I've never worked a day in my life.
Yeah,
because it's like I do a lot of stuff which somebody watching me might consider work, but to me it doesn't feel like work. It's like I'm just doing the thing. I'm just fingerboarding and doing everything about fingerboarding and making stuff, and like it's all fun. It's not really work.
Yeah.
Keeps you busy, but it's not work.
And it keeps you creative, coming up with
totally.
new ideas and other ways of doing things, and keeps the brain working.
Definitely.
I mean, I'll say this though: opening up a business isn't for everybody. If you want to try to open up your own business, go for it. But the main thing, have a passion for it. And if it doesn't work out, don't feel bad, because we've all made mistakes, and we try and we try and we try, and then you'll find that one thing that finally does work. If it doesn't work out in the beginning, doesn't mean you failed. It just means that wasn't what you were supposed to be doing at that time. You move to the next idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, some people get it naturally, easily. Some people struggle for a while and then get it. And some people, it's just not for them. And it's okay if you're one of those people too.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody's meant to be a business owner.
No.
Some people do better working for somebody, which is also like a really crucial role. Very appreciated, to have people that can help you out and stuff.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, there's less pressure that way for some people. For me and you, we're the type of people who want to own a business. So it might be like, oh, it's annoying, I have to listen to this boss. But for other people, it's like, I just want to be told what to do so I don't have to worry about what to do and how to do it. And if I'm doing the right thing or the wrong thing, like, you know, there's benefits to any way you go with your job.
Yeah. And if you're working for somebody else, when the day's done,
you're done.
The day's done.
You don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Worry about anything.
Or we kind of bring it home.
Yeah. I'm thinking 24/7 about it. Like, oh, what can I do? Am I doing everything as good as I could be doing? Or like, you know, there's just all these different angles to it. And a lot of it's really positive because it's always like creativity, like, you know, 2 a.m. Oh, I got an idea. Sweet. You know? But other times just like, I don't know. It's like a way of life, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
How about music? What kind of music do you like?
I mean, I like all sorts of music, but I mean, I generally listen to golden age hip hop, which is anywhere from like 80s to maybe mid 90s, early 2000s. A lot of rock, alternative rock, grunge rock, metal. Those are like my 2 main genres. Cool. I even have like some stuff tattooed on me.
Oh yeah, what do you got for tattoos?
So this one right here is from one of my favorite all-time bands, Duran Duran. This is from their second album called Rio. Brazilian, Rio, made sense.
Yeah.
But what I really liked about this graphic from the album is that it has the resemblance of what's called the evil eye. So it's like this medallion that's supposed to keep like evil spirits and bad juju away from you. So that's why I thought it would make a really cool tattoo, because I kind of believe in that philosophy. My wife really believes in that philosophy as well. And it's one of my favorite albums from them. Nice. Another one of my favorite bands is Linkin Park. So this is from their first album, Hybrid Theory. It's the soldier with the dragonfly wings. So basically, hybrid means they were meshing 2 styles of music together, which was hip hop and metal, which were like 2 of my favorite genres. So it just made sense for me to fall in love with them.
That's awesome. Yeah, I listened to a lot of Linkin Park in like probably middle school-ish, I would say. I don't listen to them much now, but like if it comes on, I'll enjoy it, you know.
The singer passed away.
I know.
Yeah, years ago.
Was really
so
sad.
that I actually cried. Like I love this band so much that it brought me to tears.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was also pretty like, I don't know if I cried, but I was at least close. I was just like really taken aback by it when that happened. I was just like, what?
Oh, and when these members start to go, I'm gonna be a basket case, man. Oh. Dude, I've been a fan since I was like 7 years old.
Wow. Crazy.
Since 1982.
That's cool.
Or 81. No, it's 81. 1981 is when they came out.
Wow.
I've been a fan since day one.
So cool.
So it's like, ooh, jeez.
You're about to go see them.
I can't do that. Yeah, I'm going on September 19th. They came last year, and I went. But this time, I got floor seats, which is going to be badass.
Nice.
I mean, up close and personal.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh, that's super cool.
Well, I mean, since we were talking about tattoos, I think I'll talk about my other ones, too.
Definitely.
So this one here, you see 3 stars. You think it's just 3 stars, but there's actually meaning to this one. So this is my music arm, musical influences. This is my family arm. So my very first tattoo was my daughter's name, Haley.
Nice.
It's kind of got like that negative effect.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, like a negative film. Have you seen what negative film looks like?
Yep.
It's kind of got that effect. And then with this one, so it's 3 diamonds, the bigger one being myself, the middle, my wife, and then the smaller one, my child, Haley.
Cool.
But inside each one are 3 other stars.
Yep.
So that represents me and my parents, me and my 2 sisters, and then from my immediate side of the family, for my 3 nieces. Like just my side of the family, not talking about my wife's side.
Yeah.
But that's for my family.
Oh, that's awesome.
As soon as I gave that explanation, like my dad was never really a big fan of tattoos.
Yeah.
But when he heard that description of this particular tattoo, he was like, okay, I like your tattoo now.
Yeah.
Like little tears. Good. All right, I like your tattoo now.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. I'm a big fan of when tattoos have meaning behind them, you know?
And that's what I do it for. Other people don't. Other people, like my nephew, he likes to see his body as the canvas. So he goes after artists he likes.
Yeah.
And he's just like, give me something because I like your artwork.
Yeah.
And there's people who do it just for that.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool too. The art is insane that some people do. Like,
Like rose work?
Yeah, I was just gonna say Roe is really
That's
talented.
my nephew's favorite style.
Cool.
Yeah.
Does he have any from Roe?
No.
He could get one.
He would probably love to though.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. Ro, if you're listening, let's make this happen.
Yeah. It could. He brings his stuff sometimes, so.
Yeah, man. We'll have to make it out to a rendezvous when he's here.
Yeah.
I'll have to bring Nicholas out and he can get some work done.
Oh, that would be crazy. Yeah, he's done a lot of tattoos at my house.
Oh, I was there. I was there when he was doing them. He did the big Berlinwood on Timo's arm.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that is massive. It took like the whole forearm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't remember, but I remember he was like, I was like, is this guy going to get to fingerboard? Oh, he's tattooing everybody. I mean, he loves it. That's his passion. And he said it didn't bother him at all. And that's great. But man, I was even tempted to get him. I was like, everybody's getting tattoos. You even got into it too. You were doing like the whole stick poke at one point, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've given a bunch of them actually.
Yeah, I remember
don't have
that.
any myself, but somehow I got into giving them, and it's really fun. It's a really unique thing because, I don't know, like what I like about it is, I don't know, like you can't mess up. There's no choice to mess up. It's not like drawing on paper where it's like, just do it again.
No, there's no eraser.
Yeah. It's like so important that you have no choice but to do it properly. And I like things like that because it's, I don't know, it's just a cool thing. It's different than normal, like the way you normally do. Fingerboarding, you can keep refilming the trick every single time.
Yep.
But if it had to be first try, it's kind of like how I like film photography. Not that I do it that often these days, but I used to sometimes. You have to set your settings properly and get the photo exactly how you want it, and you basically have to do it first try. Versus digital, you can take 500 shots, pick the best one, and then edit it and make it even better. Versus film, it's like you envision it and you get it exactly, you have to just do it perfectly, and you're paying for each one, so you really got to do it.
And you don't know how it turns out until you develop it. And then you're like, damn. And maybe it's like, oh, shoot, that one turned out really good.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, you start getting them how you imagine them coming out. But
yeah, it's funny that you mentioned about taking 500 digital photos, because if you saw my daughter's photo album, where she keeps all her photos, there's so many that the thumbnails are like literally the size of pins because she has so many photos. I'm like, how do you know what these pictures are? She's like, Dad, I can expand them and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, but why do you take so many? She was so I could pick the perfect one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, take your string of photos, pick the perfect one, then delete them, because now you're taking up all this space. Anyways, that was just something that came to my head. Totally. Oh, another thing that came to my head, we were talking about tattoos. How did you feel the first time you did your first one on somebody? Were you like,
Yeah, it's a mix of like super nervous and like transcendental focus. Like it's very powerful. Giving, especially your first few and especially your first one, it's like, at least for me, it was a really powerful thing because it's like you have this, like the permanence to it and the connection with the person in that moment and everything. It's just like, I don't know, it's crazy.
It's pretty intimate.
Yeah. And at the same time, it was like my hand was really, really shaking because I was nervous, but I was doing it perfectly because, like I said, like in my head, it's just like, you can't mess up. It's not even an option. So it's like, it's funny, like your hand's like shaking, and then it goes in the perfect spot every time. It's almost as if you're not even shaking at all. But it's like...
I remember seeing you do one on, it was your Flatface logo, the 2 Fs, the shield.
Yeah, I've done a lot of those. That's like the main one that I've done.
I want to say you did it on Chris? Cirque? Cirque? Did you give him one?
I think he has. It's hard for me to remember all of them. I'm pretty sure he has one like this big, and I also gave him like a mini DV tape or something like that, I believe. I used to remember what all these were, but now it's been a while, and I've done a lot of them.
Yeah.
I used to have a count, and I could tell you what all of them were, and now it's just like I've done so many.
You lose count.
Yeah. But yeah, I've done a lot of Flatface logos. It's a pretty easy one to do. And I've done all kinds of random stuff that people have asked me to do.
It's a dope logo. It's like one of the most iconic logos in the fingerboard scene, in my opinion.
You want one? We got a couple days.
I I don't know about the stick poke, man. I don't know about that.
I got real tattoo needles from Ro.
Did you?
To do the stick and poke with.
All right, we'll circle back to that.
No, I'm not. I never pressure anybody to get a tattoo.
Yeah.
It's only an offer. It's not like, let's do it. It's like, if you want it, ask me again tomorrow.
Okay.
You know?
All
If
right.
not, I don't care. Because, you know, I don't have any tattoos, so I don't expect anybody to just be like, yeah, give me one.
Gotcha.
It's more of like, if somebody actually wants it, and they really want it.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell when they're asking me that they really want it. Then I'm like, yeah, all right, maybe tomorrow. And then tomorrow they still want it. All right, let's do it.
And who knows, maybe down the road. I mean, I've thought about getting fingerboard tattoos for many years. Like, one of my favorite ones was to get the Fingerboarder magazine logo. Like,
that's a
just
good one.
Just the hand.
Somebody has that.
Yeah, so I think a few
Who is
people
it?
have that one. I don't know who it is, but I've seen them online.
I've seen a few. Or at least one.
That one always I would want to get like on my back or something like that.
Wow.
And then never got around to doing it. I don't know if it's because, I mean, I know I'm always going to be a fingerboarder. I mean, I got to tell you this one story too. Do you remember the Rendezvous when we had the after party at your place and the cops showed up?
Yeah, you were there for that one?
I was there for that one.
Oh, that was crazy.
So the cops came in, and we're all fingerboarding. You're taking care of business, and then once it was all settled down, you had this kitchen counter, and it went to the sink, and it was kind of like this big gap. And I was just switch flipping off of it. I loved that gap for some reason. It was awesome. And the cop comes behind my shoulder, and he looks at me, and I think I was probably close to 40 at that point. And he goes, "Aren't you too old to be doing this?" And I'm telling you right now, verbatim, this is what I said to him. I said, "As long as I have two fingers, I'll never be too old." And he just looked at me and he was like, "Okay, I guess I gotta respect that." and then it just left. Wow. But I think I told that story in a video too. And Gary Chin, obviously you remember FFI. He actually used that quote on his profile on FFI. As long as I have two fingers, I'll always be fingerboarding. And I was like,
cool.
That is freaking cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's
so yeah,
amazing.
I know I'm always going to be a fingerboarder. I just don't know if I'm at the point where I want to put it on my body yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Same with sneakers. Like, my family's like, "Oh, you're so into sneakers now. How come you haven't gotten a sneaker tattoo yet?" And I'm like, I like them, and I have a passion for them, but I just don't think I'm ready to put it on my body.
Yeah, you don't need it unless you feel like you do.
Yeah, and I'm sure maybe the time will come, and I'll be hitting you up.
I gave Zach McLean a Flatface logo on his pinky. And I felt his bone every single poke.
Those hurt.
That was crazy. I had to put in earphones because the sound was driving me crazy.
How was he during it?
I think he was fine.
No.
He has tattoos on his hands already.
Yeah, I know that. Some people have a high threshold for pain. I'm pretty good when it comes to pain. But yeah, that might be a little difficult to sit through. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. But Sean Whitman's was the worst because he had a really low tolerance for pain and he wanted a big thing. And he kept stopping me. And it's like, if you let me get into the zone, it will go much faster. But I kept having to stop because it was too much for him.
It's worse.
And then it ended up taking hours. And it came out okay, but like I think it would have come out even better if I could get
if you had that
really
flow.
in the flow.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah. I wonder what he's up to.
He's making fishing flies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, I follow his Instagram. He's always posting
cool.
new lures that he makes.
Oh, that's amazing. I knew he was super into fishing. I didn't know he was doing a thing with it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. I'm going to have to check that out and say hi to him. It's been so long.
Yeah. It has been a long time since I've seen him, too. I don't even remember when was last time.
I was just watching the old Flatface DVD, and he was like in there. So
wow.
I'm about to put it on YouTube. I'm just watching the whole thing, make sure it's all good.
You're gonna put it on YouTube?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would have sooner, but I couldn't because I basically made the DVD like so that you couldn't rip it, or it was really hard to rip it. And then I lost the files, and then so years went by and whatever, and eventually I'm like, what the heck? Why would I make it only on DVD? Then like nobody can see it unless they have it, and like there's only a few hundred of them out there versus you put something on YouTube, thousands of people can watch it anytime they want. And I was like, we put more effort into that than anything that you can watch. So like, why not show it to everybody for free on YouTube? And then I went to rip it, and I was like, oh my God, I made it like, it was like in the days where everyone was just like, oh, ripping DVDs, bro. And it was like, we'll make sure no one can rip the DVD, which was like such a stupid thing to do, because now it was like, I can't even get the file onto my computer to put it on YouTube. And somebody just sent it to me. They were like, I got it.
Wow.
Because I have the DVD right there, but I couldn't get it onto the computer.
Wow.
And somebody just sent me it, so.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I watched the first half hour of it the other day and still working through it. It's so long, it's like 2 hours.
Ooh, I don't think I've
Really
seen the
good.
first one. I don't think I've seen the first DVD.
We could watch a little bit of it after this if you want.
Yeah, if you want, for sure.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really old. It's like, I don't know, 2007-ish.
Ooh. Yeah, that was a few years before I even started. That's probably why I've never seen the DVD.
Yeah, and because it's a DVD. Like, there's not... you know what I mean? It was like a cool thing at the time, because like, oh, DVD, it's like official, and like, you know, it's got the design printed on it, and it's all like professionally produced. But then it's just like, oh, nobody's seen this besides the few people who got it. You know?
Got it,
I mean, 300 is a lot, but if you put something on YouTube, you get more than 300 views, you know? Way more.
And that's another thing too. You're now introducing it. You could be possibly introducing fingerboarding to a new audience. Like a lot of the people who started following me, they have kids now. And I'm sure the parents, them being a fingerboarder, has probably introduced them to fingerboarding as well. But there could be people out there who don't have fingerboarding parents, and they catch this video.
Totally.
And they'll be like, wow, this has been going on for that long?
Yeah.
Shoot, maybe this is something I can get into. Never know.
Definitely. And it's crazy to see like the evolution of it, like our skills and the things we were using and everything. And it's surprisingly good for its time period.
Hell yeah.
And there's also things that are just so bad, and it's like, it's so cool to see it all like put together.
When I see some of the old videos and I'm like, how were they pulling off these crazy tricks with like a 26 millimeter board?
Yeah.
Like, how did we do it with a tech deck?
I know, it's insane.
I try to use a tech deck now and I'm like, no, this doesn't even work anymore for me.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Oh my God. It's crazy. I've never tried like their more pro stuff. I've never bothered trying their wooden decks or bearing wheels. I heard their bearing... They did the dual durometer wheels, their knockoff of your wheels, and they were falling apart in the commercials or something like that.
Twice. They deleted it, they put up a new one, and it was also happening in the new one.
Unreal. But yeah, I never tried their more pro stuff.
Yeah, I think Tech Deck's really awesome for like their entry level stuff, because it gets so many people into fingerboarding.
Yeah.
So
it's got like 99% of us into fingerboarding that way.
Yeah, it's so rare to get into it any other way, unless you like directly know someone that's already using like a Flatface board or something. But yeah, Tech Deck's awesome. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend their like more expensive things if you're a serious fingerboarder, you know. But
it's worth the investment to get the proper equipment.
Yeah, totally.
I agree. Even when I tell some of when I first started, when I told my family how much one of these little setups is, like everything professionally made, they were like, how much? I was like, yeah, but it's worth it.
It is. If it's
so
something
worth
you're
it.
going to use every day or frequently, it lasts you forever, and it's the best, and you have fun with it.
I have wheels that I got when I first started fingerboarding that I still use to this day.
Cool.
Like Winkler TLC, we were talking about the Winkler TLC Blues. I pretty much got those like a couple years after I started fingerboarding, and I still have them set up.
That's so good.
Right?
Yeah. That's amazing.
I have a few of your wheels. They're on 29 millimeter setup, so I don't use them that often, but they're still set up, and I still use them every now and then. They're just built to last, in my opinion. That's my experience.
The funny thing is sometimes I'll be using wheels for like over 10 years, and people are like, you own the company, why don't you put on a new set? And I'm like, these are fine.
Yeah.
Why would I? Like,
it's like when you get that perfect setup that just works for everything. You don't want to change anything on it.
And if you do, it sucks.
Yeah. And then you're like, do I want to go to a new setup, or do I just keep using this one? I'll keep it on the side.
Yeah.
I'll try a new one, but that one's always going to be there.
I do that too.
Yeah. That one's always going to be there.
That's the way.
We all think alike, man. We think we don't, but we all think alike.
No, totally. It's like Fingerboarders, pretty much everyone gets along with each other because we all have something in common, not just the fingerboarding, but something in our heads in common, you know, like we think alike to a certain degree, just
Yeah.
enough to get along. And then there's a wide spectrum of everyone that, you know, we're all different, but we all have a little bit of like whatever it is that makes you interested in doing something as weird as fingerboarding, as serious as we do. It's like that's enough to keep everyone getting along.
But it's you have to have a little weird in yourself. Otherwise,
Yeah.
if everybody was like normal, I don't know what normal means, but if
Yeah.
everybody was normal, it'd be boring, man. You know what I mean? You
Totally.
gotta have a little weird in you.
I agree.
Keeps things like spicy.
Yeah. And now, a word from our sponsor. Do you ever fingerboard and then your trucks fall off because you put them onto like 7 different setups and you strip the base plates and the screws are not holding onto your base plates anymore? Well, Slick has the solution. These screws are specially designed for stripped base plates. They have ones for Black River and for dynamic trucks and others too. So these are fatter and longer than normal screws. Don't use them on normal base plates without problems. Save these for when you have a stripped base plate specifically. It's awesome. This setup you guys have probably seen me use since, I don't know, 2012, 2013, something like that. It's really old. It's a G15 I've been riding forever. It's like shorter now. And one of these, yeah, that one right there. Actually, I think, yeah, one on the front and the back started stripping, or was stripped, so it would get loose because the other screws weren't holding it that well, and they were all kind of starting to get stripped. So I put a couple of these screws in, and you really got to force it in there, turn it, push pretty hard, but once it's on, it's on. So these things really work. I was able to save this setup without having to get new base plates. And if you fingerboard for a long time, you know how like the trucks get really worn in and your bushings are all perfect and stuff. You don't want to change anything on your setup if you don't have to. So it's really awesome to be able to save those trucks and not to have to like retune it perfectly and stuff. So Slick screws are really awesome. They've also got some other cool stuff. Some nuts. They have special nuts that have like a closed off side on them too. They got these board rails and what are those? Yeah, risers. Dude, these risers are sick. You can elevate your setup. Why is there only one riser? There it is. It was hiding under the sticker. So, yeah, they got these really sharp screws with the board rails so you can screw them right into your deck. Then they got bushings and pivot cups too. So, pretty cool. These pivot cups are like, you know, they got the little line thing that goes in the Black River trucks, like in the bottom. Anyways, you know what I mean. These are sweet. And then they've got tape. Let's check it out. I wanted to wait for this video so I could give a real-time impression. Hopefully it feels good. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, that's definitely good tape. You can tell right away. I'm definitely going to use this probably on, I'm going to set this one up first. So they also sent me some boards. I think it's a collaboration with Milkshake Fingerboards. So the shape is like, kind of like a G15, more concave. Nice kicks. And then they got a little bit of a mellower one, it looks like. Yeah, a little bit mellower. Also super nice. So this is like pretty deep concave and kind of low kicks. This is like medium kicks with the same concave. And then this cruiser is super sick. So these all have like special Flatface Slick collab graphics on them. So look out for these. I don't know what we're doing with them yet. Maybe we'll make more and put them on the Flatface site. But yeah, I'm going to set up this cruiser with this tape and some of their board rails for sure. They got some cool stickers. Slick is from London. They're going to be on the Flatface site. We got some of the tape. We got some of the tuning. And of course, the screws for the stripped base plates. So head over to the Flatface website. Worldwide shipping, all that. Go to the Slick website. Either one works, and get some goodies today. What is the hardest challenge you've ever had to overcome?
The hardest challenge I've ever had to overcome. Maybe we shouldn't have gone with a serious one. I mean, I've had a lot of challenges. I mean, maybe none of them were as serious as I thought they were. I guess it goes back to I'm still working on it. The whole shyness. I mean, even now to this day, there's times when I'm with my family, and they're just, they're talking, and Portuguese people love to scream. And so I'm just like, I got to kind of pull away from that. I know I shouldn't be pulling away. Like, even my wife is like, where are you going? I'm like, I just got to go to the living room for a little bit. And she's like, you're being so antisocial. And I'm like, I know, I don't want to be. I don't want to be, but I just have to. I guess that's something that I'm still working to overcome.
Sometimes that's okay, though. Sometimes people need to just, like, relax and recharge for a few minutes.
Yeah, you need your own space sometimes.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just kind of sometimes in the situations that I do it in, when it's supposed to be all about a gathering, and then I kind of put myself away, is something that I'm still working on. Yeah. So I think that would be one of them. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah.
Trying to overcome it still. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've made good progress with it anyways.
I think so.
What's the worst advice you've ever heard or given?
Worst advice. So I was 14 years old. I was working at in a hockey rink, and they wanted to redo the outside and the interior. So they wanted to paint the interior and refinish the cracks on the outside. And keep in mind, I'm 14 years old doing this, and it's on a single ladder with a bucket of concrete and my trowel and tray, walking up.
Wow.
14 years old. Yeah, but this was like the 80s. They didn't care about safety for kids back then.
Yeah.
So I was having a really hard time putting the concrete and having it to stick in the cracks with the I think it's called the trough. Is it called a trough?
Trowel?
Trowel, thank you. With the trowel. So I went back down, I was pissed off, went and talked to my supervisor, and he was like, oh, just use your hands. He was like, just use your hands and just mash it in there. And I was like, okay, oh, cool. What I didn't know, and apparently what he didn't know, is that concrete is, it burns your skin if it's exposed for too long. Like, I was actually getting holes in my fingertips.
Oh my God.
And pebbles were going inside. So I was like, yeah, that's not good.
Holy crap.
So I went back and I go to clean my hands off, and he's like, what happened? I was like, I did what you told me. You told me to use my hands to put the concrete in. And he was like, yeah, you put the concrete in, but then you get the trowel and smooth it out. So, like, stuff it in with your fingers. And I understood was spread it with your hands and everything all together. So that was some pretty bad advice on his part.
Dang.
But I'm trying to look for that word. It's corrosive. It's corrosive.
Oh, okay. Yeah, concrete actually has, like, chemical reactions going on in it.
Yeah.
I used to use it with my hands, but I probably didn't let it sit on there
long enough.
But now when I do it with my hands, I'll put a glove on.
Good.
Yeah. Because you can actually, like, certain things are better, like, to smooth it with your finger and stuff, like making fingerboard parks. But, yeah, you don't want to use, like, your skin on it.
Caulking. If you want to smooth out caulking with your finger, use soap and water. So you dip your finger in soap and water, like dish soap.
Okay.
Like, mix it around, and then you could smooth the caulking without it sticking to your finger. There's some good advice. There's some good advice for you. You learned another thing new today.
Yeah, I did. That's great. Cool.
Next question.
Well, the next question is, what's the best advice you've ever heard or given?
I think the caulking is good for the good advice. That's probably some stuff that people don't know about.
Cool.
But good advice that I've given, I think somebody said to me once, and it kind of became like my what's the word I'm looking for? Is it mantra?
Maybe.
Basically, he said, when I was trying to come out of my shell in high school, he's like, just treat people the way you want to be treated. And that kind of stuck with me.
That's
and I've kind of lived the rest of my life that way.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going to be an ass to somebody, then I have to expect it in return.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So treat people the way you want to be treated. words to live by.
Totally. I can get behind that. I agree. What's your happiest fingerboard memory?
Oh, I have several. Well, I think we talked about one earlier, was when you asked me to introduce the crowd or bring the crowd in for Rendezvous 10. Another one is that I can say that I've been mentioned in every single fingerboarder magazine.
Wow.
At some point.
That's awesome.
In each magazine, my name is in the issue.
Nice.
I've also had an appearance on Pissing Fingers 3.
Cool.
The DVD. So it was Martin, Andreas, and Thomas Hansen. They came to Toronto for a meeting with Tech Deck, and this was in 2010. And so when I found out, I messaged Martin. I was like, hey, listen, I live in Toronto, so if you need somebody to show you around, blah, 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 I'd be more than happy to. And he was like, awesome. So we visited a couple indoor skate parks. We went to a couple outdoor skate parks, showed him around downtown Toronto. This was after they had their meeting. And then one day, and then at the end, he was like, I want to take you out for dinner, just like as a thank you. So we ended up going to a keg house, and I did a fingerboard trick, and it's supposed to be one of my happiest memories, and now I can't remember what I said in the DVD. I think it might have been keep fingerboarding 2 fingers piece, to be honest with you.
I think so.
Knowing me, it probably was.
Did you say in this time 3 fingers?
I did, yes! Good call, man, nice!
Yeah, I remember that now.
Hilarious!
So good.
Keep fingerboarding, this time 3 fingers. Pissing Fingers, peace.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, yeah, that was such a cool memory. And I guess every time I meet somebody new, I never forget when I met that person, especially when it comes to the fingerboard community.
Cool.
Those are great memories to me too. Like earlier I mentioned the first time I met Mike Gibbs. Like I'm still friends to him to this day. Was at the first event where you came to Toronto, and he came at like basically the last half hour.
Wow.
He was just there for a half hour, but I vividly remember he had his busted arm, and he was this tall dude. And I was like, where has this guy been all day? And then he just showed up at like the last half hour. And Roland was another one that I met that day too. Roland Campbell. All kinds of people that I met that I still very fond memories.
Yeah.
Very good memories.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That was a great question. I like that one.
Yeah, those are some good answers too. Have you ever had a strong belief that you then changed?
Yeah, I have. When I was younger, I thought I would never live past the age of 35.
What?
Yeah, it was this weird thing that I had in my head that I wasn't going to live a long life when I was younger. I don't know why, but it was always in my head. But then as I got closer and closer to that age, I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to live a long and fulfilling life. It's so dumb to think that way, but yeah, when I was younger, I thought I wouldn't live past my 30s, but clearly I have. And I've changed. I've expected to live a lot longer now.
Cool.
Weren't expecting that as an answer, were you?
But that's really cool. Like, I don't know. I feel like some people, I don't know how many people think that way, but some people certainly act as if they think that way when they're young, you know? So hopefully that's inspiring to somebody to, like, you know, be a little bit more optimistic and a little bit more like, you know, don't mess around too much.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Take calculated risks.
Yeah.
Calculated risks.
Exactly. Yeah. Obviously have fun, do what you gotta do, but don't be too stupid.
No.
Think long term.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, there was a risk that I didn't do very well when I was a kid. So, okay, this is totally a different topic, but we went to Brazil when I was 8 years old, and that's how I got into body surfing. So body surfing is where your body is the board. You're not using like a boogie board or anything. You're just laying in the wave on your chest. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So sometimes the waves can get pretty high.
Yeah.
My dad's from Rio, so we always went to Copacabana Beach, and the waves aren't like astronomically high, but I would say the highest one, if you're on the beach ground, is probably like maybe to like the 4th or 5th wood piece there,
Yeah.
plank.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you're
Pretty
not
high.
you're not able to catch it, so you got to kind of dive into the wave and let it go over you. Well, I miscalculated, and I was 8 years old, so I'm super light. I weigh like
Wow.
the weight of a feather, a
Yeah.
wet feather in the water, and I dove in the middle of the wave as opposed to in the base. So what happened was the wave ended up carrying me over. So I'm now like this, going upside down, and then crashing in. And then there's an undertow now. So now you're like you're flopping all around, sand's
man.
getting in your freaking your swimsuit, you're trying to come up for air.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Needless to say, after that risk, never did that again. Like I kind of was like, okay, that wave's too big, so I'm gonna go run that way. I'm not gonna go
Yeah.
dive into it. So yeah, that calculated risks.
Wild.
Don't let a wave come crashing down on you.
Body surfing. That sounds gnarly.
Oh yeah, I got a chance to teach my daughter, and it was
Cool.
That's another great memory too that I'll never forget. A lot of fun.
That's amazing. When did you have your daughter? 19 years ago, you said, right?
She was born 5 days before my birthday on
Oh,
the
cool.
22nd of July in 2004.
Nice.
So the funny thing is, my dad is 30 years older than me, and I'm 30 years older than my daughter. So we're
Whoa.
each generation is like 30 years difference.
So now she has to have a kid when she's 30, right? Keep it going.
Yeah, to keep it going, I guess. So we're hoping that because next year is going to be my dad's 80th, my 50th, and her 20th, that we'll be able to go to Brazil again as a family.
Cool.
And celebrate all 3 birthdays.
Yeah.
They're kind of like pivotal years.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Hopefully we can make that work.
Favorite food?
Ooh, favorite food. Wow. I mean, there's a few of those too. But if I have to say all-time favorite thing that I never get tired of, pizza.
Pizza.
There's always room for more pizza.
Cool.
Like you'll have a slice, and you can have another one, and you can do so much with pizza. You can basically put whatever you want on it, so it's never boring.
Yep.
And pineapple does belong on pizza.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
I like
Pineapple on pizza is awesome. But everybody's like, but you're not supposed to put fruit on pizza. Yeah, well, what do you think a tomato is? Tomato's technically a fruit.
Yep.
By definition, a tomato's a fruit. So anyways, but yeah, pizza is a good one. Lasagna. Oh man, do I love lasagna.
Whoa.
Lasagna is so good, especially when there's a lot of cheese. And my aunt makes one for Christmas every year. We always get together with everybody on Christmas, and she always brings her lasagna, and it is just amazing. Love it.
Wow.
And if we're talking fast food, I mean, pizza can technically be considered fast food, but I never get tired of Burger King.
Oh,
The Whopper is my burger. I love the Whopper.
nice.
Yeah.
I haven't had a fast food since I was like 18 or something. Like, I mean, I've had
Wow.
like fast-ish food, but like McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King I haven't had.
Wow.
I've had like In-N-Out Burger or Five Guys, which is like kind of fast food, but it's not like that same caliber. I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
A little
Yeah.
bit different. But yeah, it's been a really long time.
That is a long time. That's willpower, man.
I don't even think about it.
Yeah, now it's like second nature to you. But if we're gonna talk like ethnic foods, like what kind of ethnicity do I really enjoy? I mean, Portuguese food it's pretty basic. It's chicken, potatoes, and steak and beef. It's just I do really enjoy sweet and sour pork and some fried rice.
Ooh,
Mix those two together.
nice.
Whew. Love it. I love food.
Now I'm hungry. This is not the right conversation for now.
I love food.
Yeah. What keeps you going?
What keeps me going? Jeez, I mean, what keeps me going? Like, how do you mean going? Like just going through life? Like in
Yeah.
general?
Could be.
I mean, I know it's going to sound very cliche to say this, but it's family. Family keeps me going.
Cool.
My support from my family is unreal. Like anything I do, they got my back.
Yeah.
And obviously my wife and daughter, but I'm talking like my immediate family as well. My parents, sisters, brother-in-laws, nieces, cousins, they all support anything that I do, and I love them for it. Really appreciate them for that.
Yeah, that's
It really
awesome.
keeps me going.
That's really good.
I don't know what I would do if I didn't have such a big family, to be honest with you. Like, my family's huge.
Yeah.
And my wife's family is huge. So those two combined, it's just a stadium.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I feel like, especially when you get older, it's like, that's what you appreciate the most. You know?
Absolutely.
Like, when you're a kid, you don't really care about that. Like, not that you don't care about your family, but it's in a different way, you know? It's just like, oh, they're there, whatever. And then, like, as you mature, it's like, oh, wow, like, the support from these people, like, is really powerful. It's really helpful, and it's a beautiful thing to have. And if you don't have that, a lot of people find that from friends too, you know?
Oh yeah, and like, family doesn't necessarily have to be blood. Like I have blood that I don't consider family anymore. But we won't talk about that here. Yeah, family could be whatever you choose your family to be.
Yeah.
If you say your friends are your family, then your friends are your family. And if your family's your family, then obviously your family's your family. It's whoever you feel is supporting you the most, I guess.
Yeah.
That's your family core.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people on Instagram went crazy when I posted that you were going to be here, and they submitted a ton of questions really fast.
Wow.
So, they're still coming in. We got a lot more now.
Come on.
Yeah. Whoa. Who are you? I've never heard of you.
Come on. New gen of fingerboarders, and that, and that's fine, because the whole transition from YouTube to Instagram.
Yeah.
There's a whole new generation of fingerboarders who probably don't even watch videos on YouTube. They probably just stick to Instagram. You know what I mean?
They're missing out. That's where all the good stuff is.
I know, right? But hey, well, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Sid. I go by Vicious274 on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram. If you want to check it out on YouTube, check it out.
Perfect. Tips to beginners in the world of fingerboard.
Tips for beginners.
Yeah.
Okay. Tips like for tricks or...
We don't know, so
okay.
Whatever.
So what I'll say is start with something not too expensive, just to see if you feel like this is something you can see yourself doing. And then if you see that it's something that you're passionate about, because you'll pretty much know if you're passionate about it right off the hop. Like the first random flip that I did off that Tech Deck spine ramp, I knew I had to get into this. So
yeah.
When it comes to tricks, they say the hardest trick to learn is the ollie, because at least for me it was, once you learn the ollie, other tricks kind of come a little easier, not super easy, but a little easier.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn how to do an ollie, if you want to learn how to do it quickly or early, easier, what helped me was I would put like a book or whatever, and then just kind of like bounce off of the book onto the lower level, kind of try to get that feel, and then pop it as far back as you can, and then just hold it on the two fingers, and then bring it forward, and then just kind of try to bring that whole technique into it, and then eventually just roll and pop and go.
Yeah. Good advice for sure.
Yeah.
You can also use your leg to help you like flip it upside down, kind of like
doing it on the leg.
Because you're like rolling it off. You can even start here to begin with and like gradually go more normal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good stuff. What got you into collecting shoes?
So we touched on this earlier. What got me into collecting shoes, I didn't really collect shoes when I was younger, but I loved shoes when I was younger. What got me to start collecting them, when I realized that there was a potential investment in them as well. Like, you're not just throwing your money away. You can actually get money back if you ever do decide to sell them. But honestly, I didn't just start collecting because of that. I also started collecting because I could now afford them. And it's kind of like you know how you have that one setup that you absolutely love and you're always using and you feel good when you're using it?
Yeah.
shoes do the same thing for me. Like when I throw on a nice pair of sneakers, kind of gives you you walk a little taller, you feel a little better about yourself, and
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't have to put on a shoe to feel better about yourself. That's not what I'm saying, but it just does something.
Yeah.
It just feels good.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think feeling like happy about what you're wearing or how you're presenting yourself, like it's not the most important thing,
No.
but it's also a good thing to do a little bit. Like it helps, so why not? You know? It's
Yeah.
like, look nice or look the way you want or wear the things you like, and like, you know, I put on a funny shirt and it's like it brings smiles. So it's like any little thing. It's like everything. It's all part of the character and the moment and the, you know, whatever you're.
And it also feels pretty good when you get the sneaker nod. Do you know what the sneaker nod is?
I can imagine.
You're just walking down the street and another person, don't want to say guy, another person is wearing sneakers, and you kind of look at each other's sneakers and you're like, all right,
Cool.
nice shoes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I like that feeling.
That's sweet. Yeah, it's a cool thing. It's like people when you're driving like the same car as you do stuff like that too. Like,
Yep. I used to ride a motorcycle. I did it for one season.
Oh, nice.
And you kind of give that little wave to the other biker coming on the oncoming lane. You're like, I see you. What's up, buddy? You're like a little gang.
yeah, that's sweet. Oh, cool. What do you eat for breakfast?
My breakfasts are very plain Monday to Friday. When it comes to the weekend, we get a little bit more, not adventurous, but we focus a little more on breakfast. Monday to Friday, depends on what I'm in the mood for. Sometimes it's just toast and a coffee. If I have any pastries, then maybe I might have like an apple turnover or something. But on the weekends,
On the weekends when it's raining out.
yeah, you get to sleep in a little bit and you get to wake up. You don't have much going on. Then, you bring out the eggs or pancakes and bacon and this, that, and the other. My wife loves to make chocolate chip pancakes. Those things are freaking good, man. Very good. They're so good that you can't have multiples. That's how good they are. It's like, it's too much. It's too much. Throw some syrup on those. Amazing. Sometimes just bagel and cream cheese. Maybe I'll throw some strawberry jam in the cream cheese as well.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah,
That's
it's good mix.
Yep.
It's good mix. I've
What
never
kind
been
of bagel do you have?
I tend to gravitate towards sesame seed.
Nice.
Yeah, when a sesame seed is roasted, it just gives it this flavor. Love it.
Oh yeah, I can imagine like a nice toasted one.
So good.
It's good.
So yeah, I have all kinds of breakfast, but I guess that puts it in a nutshell.
And then usually just toast, like, are you in a rush or something?
Yeah, I usually, when I generally like to wake up, not so that I'm rushing out of the house, but just so that I can at least have something, a little something to eat, kind of take my time, with brushing the teeth, getting dressed, this and that. So yeah, toast is usually like the simplest thing to make. Just pop them in. While that's toasting, make my coffee. By the time my coffee's done, the toast is ready, and then I eat and go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you been to Sydney, Australia?
I haven't been to Sydney, Australia, and I haven't been to Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Wow.
I'd love to go to both. I've always wanted to visit the east of Canada. Here it's very similar to, apparently the lifestyle is very similar to Portugal.
Oh, cool.
Because actually a lot of the fishing from Portugal is done on the east coast of Canada. Like all their codfish comes from the east coast of Canada. It doesn't come from Portugal.
Crazy.
Yeah. But no, Sydney, Australia is on my bucket list. The only thing that deters me from going to Australia is not the crazy animals or giant spiders or anything like that. That doesn't bother me. It's the flight, and I love to fly.
Oh.
It's like from Canada to Australia is like a 24-hour flight. Right? Can you just, that is like, just thinking about that.
No,
24 hours in a plane. I love to fly, don't get me wrong, but 24 hours? I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, that's crazy. What I would do is probably fly somewhere in the middle and then hang out there for like a week and then go and then make another stop somewhere else on your way back. Like,
that would be a better plan.
even though that's like a lot more, it's also just like not as brutal at once and you get to see a few places or something.
But then you would have to do it on the way back too.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like being in an airplane for more than like a few hours, really. Like
the maximum I've been in a plane is 8 hours. I don't know anything above 8 hours.
Yeah, I've had like 8.5 or something, and it's just like I'll do it because it's worth it, but it sucks.
Yeah.
I don't like it that much. too long. Like, flight to Florida is okay. It's like 3 hours from here. So.
And is it just me, or are plane seats getting harder? Like, my ass gets so sore so quick now when I'm sitting in a plane. It never used to be like that. It's like, are the seats getting harder, or am I losing like cushion on my butt? Like, what's going on?
You told me you lost cushion, though.
I did, though. I did lose a lot of cushion.
Yeah.
So it might be that. That might be the problem. I have to put some more cushion back on. Yeah. Or bring a pillow with me and sit on that.
Yeah. You could like bring a sweatshirt and like put that under you or something.
Got to do something, because it's getting pretty bad. Like, even coming here was only an hour and a half flight, and I'm like, really? Wow. It's already getting sore? Jesus.
That's a nice quick flight.
Yeah, super nice.
It's like as soon as you're at the height of it, they're like, all right, we're gonna bring you drinks and then we're going down.
Yeah, it's basically what it was. You went up, I had my juice and chips, and then boop, came down.
Oh, that's beautiful. Did you know they could fly faster to everywhere, but they're flying at the most efficient speed, like fuel efficiency, so that they save money rather than getting you as fast? Like, if the flight's, let's say, 2 hours, it really might only need to be 1 hour.
Really?
But they're not going to do that. It's more expensive. Like, you'll burn more fuel.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Huh. And I'm just like, just give me the fast version, please.
I'll pay the extra fee.
Yeah, probably. People are going to get all mad at us. Like, how dare you say you would waste gas? But I would take the fast one, I think.
Yeah.
I don't fly that often, and you got to be where you got to be.
Like, if I can get to Australia in 8 hours, I would have gone several times.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Like, there's definitely places I don't go because it's too far.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, Thailand or something. Like, just go, like, anywhere. If it was, like, a 20-minute ride or a few hours, you know, realistically, if it was 5 hours instead of 20 hours, like, I'd be there.
I hear Thailand is great to go to because your dollar stretches. Yeah. Like, your dollar's worth so much there. Woo! You can live like a king.
Crazy. Yeah, I've heard it's super fun. Do you still have long hair?
Nope, the long hair is gone, and you know what? We'll talk about that. I would take off my hat to show you why I don't have the long hair anymore, but it could be kind of disturbing for some people. So basically, what happened was it wasn't the first time I grew long hair in my life. I've had long hair a total of 3 times in my life now. But this particular time that I grew it was because of, first it started with COVID. All the barbers closed and we couldn't get our hair cut, so you had no choice but to grow your hair. But then when that happened, I have a cyst on my head. I have several cysts on my head right now, seven of them to be exact, but one has grown very large, larger than it ever should. And so the long hair helped cover that. And that's why I kept the long hair, which worked out perfectly because it was just like it was in sync. And then I got the appointment call to go have it removed. So I was like, okay, now it's time to cut the hair. But that appointment fell through because the doctor that was supposed to do it said, I can't do it. And I was like, what are you talking about? She goes, it's too big. You got to go see a plastic surgeon. So we go see the plastic surgeon. And then he says, I could do it, but I haven't worked on one that size. So I think I want a colleague to come in and assess it first. And then maybe we could do it together. So now when I go back on the 18th is when I'm going to have the next assessment to see if they'll take it out that day. I'm going in with the expectation of not removing it that day, seeing my track record, how it's been going so far. Everybody seems to be afraid of this thing. I mean, it's not that big. I make it sound worse than it is, but it's probably about the size, just a bit bigger than like a golf ball.
Whoa.
It's substantial. And so I'm not going in with the expectation of them removing it this time. I think he's just going to look at it and he's going to be like, okay, this is what we're going to have to do, but we can't do it in this office. I might actually have to go into an operating room. I don't know. We'll see. Crazy. But yeah, that's why I don't have long hair anymore.
Well, hopefully it's not too hard. They can get rid of that thing easily.
Oh, I mean, I've been getting this since I was 14. So I said I have 7 now. I've had 15 total in my lifetime. So I've had 8 removed before.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good when it was covered, but now they're not covered. So.
So you cut your hair because you were going in for it, and then
to get it removed, yeah.
They're like, sorry, we're gonna let you walk around with short hair with that now.
Well, I mean, they said you can keep the long hair, but what's going to happen is we're going to have to separate the area that we're going to do the incision with Vaseline, and you can't wash your hair for at least 2 days after that. So she goes, I hope you like wearing hats. I said, well, I do have hats. But then I was thinking, well, do I really want to keep long, greasy hair for 2 days? I mean, coincidentally, the last time I got one removed, I did have long hair as well. And I remembered what that was like. And I was like, no, I don't want to go through that again. Chop it off. Chop it off. I mean, it's not completely shaved like I used to have when I first started doing videos. Like I was bald.
Yeah.
No, now I still have hair on top. Like I can kind of style or do whatever. It's just short around the sides and the back.
Yeah.
But that's enough about my hair. I think that answered the question.
He's like, dang, that was way more than I bargained for.
Sometimes I keep going and going and going.
No, it's cool.
I don't have a filter to shut off.
I think people will appreciate all the info. It's interesting, you know? Because you could have literally been like, no, I don't have short hair, and moved on.
No,
and it's like,
I don't have long hair anymore, and that could have been the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh, great, thanks.
It's like, no, it's cool to have a story behind it. How did you get on the Black River team?
Okay, so there's this thing that people think I'm on the Black River team when actually I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not on Black River.
I thought you were on too.
Even you thought I was on Black River, right? No, I'm not. So I'm on Berlinwood. So these are the teams that I'm on. I'm on Berlinwood, Flatface, and now I've just recently been sponsored by a company called Slick Screws. And what they cater in is like having screws that'll go into strip base plates. That was like what they started with.
Sick.
And now they're getting into other products. But I think the reason why people think that I'm sponsored by Black River is because I've had so many associations with them. I've had friendships with them. I've done a lot of reviews for them. So they just, I guess, assume. And you can also associate Berlinwood with Black River as well.
Yeah.
Right? So, but no, I would love to be sponsored by Martin and Black River. It would be like the trifecta for me. Flatface, Berlinwood, and Black River would be amazing. But no, I'm not on the Black River team. Not yet.
Not yet. If everyone keeps saying it, it'll happen.
Yep, manifest it.
Yep. Some of these we totally did already.
But his question was, how did I get on the team?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll talk about how I got on Berlinwood and Flatface.
Oh, okay.
Let's do that.
Cool.
So I got onto Berlinwood first, and it was when I met Timo at a Rendezvous. I can't remember what number it was. And at the time, I was riding for Redemption Fingerboards, Jordan. And I just happened to let Timo know how much I love his decks and how much I've been using them over the years. And he was like, well, Sid, to be honest with you, I've never asked you to be on the Berlinwood team because I know you're associated with so many brands that I didn't want to step on any toes. And I was like, what? You've considered putting me on the Berlinwood team? And I was like, hold that thought. Hold that thought. So I started messaging Jordan from Redemption, and I was like, listen, Jordan, this is what's happening. It's not that I don't enjoy your decks or your company or appreciate anything that you've done for me, because believe me, I do. And he was even at the event that you came to. Jordan was there.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Wow. But if I show you a photo of him, you'll probably remember him.
Was that like in that garage?
Yeah, in the garage.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so Jordan from Redemption was there. And I said, listen, it's always been a dream of mine if the opportunity ever came, to ride for Berlinwood. And he was like, yeah. And he go, well, the opportunity seems to have presented itself. And without hesitation, no hard feelings, he was like, Sid, do what you need to do. I completely understand.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so awesome of you. Like, he made 3 graphic decks with my name on them.
Wow.
Like that's how much he believed in me.
That's cool.
And so I was like, Jordan, and to this day, Jordan, thank you so much for letting me make that transition. And then with you and Flatface, I think it was the first store session. I think it was the first store session you had that I came to. And you were starting a
flow team?
Flow team. You started a flow team. And I was fingerboarding, and you came up to me, we started chatting, and you're like, you know what? I want to put you on the flow team. And I was like, And Maya was right. Do you remember Maya?
Yeah.
She was right there when you asked me, and she was like, "What? It's on the Flatface dude!" And I was like, "Are you serious?" And we hugged it out and blah blah blah. And then eventually you got rid of the flow team, and then everybody just became a regular Flatface member. But yeah, that's another. Back to when we were talking about good memories.
Yeah.
Those two
Awesome.
are up there. Those two are definitely up there.
That's so cool.
Yeah, good times.
Maya was here like a year ago, like last summer. She was like in the area and she came over and fingerboarded with Harrison too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was sweet. She's in California now, I think.
She's going to school, no? Or is she done school now?
I forget, but she's working at like some female skate company thing where they like do, I think, lessons and all kinds of cool
And yeah, and she
stuff.
posted a video of her travel. She went to some travels and she was skating all over the place. I forget. I don't know. I want to say maybe Europe. But yeah, it's good to see that she's still in it.
She's getting good at skating too.
Yeah. I've been checking her out.
Andrew Hill, one time you said cigarettes are analog and vapes are digital, and it was wise.
I said that?
I guess.
Well, I don't remember saying that. I said, well, I mean, makes sense. A cigarette could be considered analog, comparing it to a vape, which is electrical. So the cigarette's analog and the vape is digital.
Yeah.
There are digital components in a vape, so
Wow,
I can't believe that somebody remembers me saying that. And when, you know what, could I have a follow-up on that? Whoever that is, send them, DM me on where I said that and when was it.
I'll do it right now. It's Andrew Hill, you know him?
Oh man, that's crazy.
Legend, no questions, only respect. There you go.
You know what? Anytime somebody says that, I'm very humbled. I don't see myself as a legend, but I mean, even you said earlier, like a lot of people liked your stuff, and I was like, and that was the goal, just to, people to enjoy what I was doing. But for people to consider me a legend, it's like,
Yeah, that's so cool.
I never thought that would ever happen.
Me neither. I still don't think of myself that way either, and like every time people say stuff, I'm like, what? Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's so like my nephew Nicholas, we went out to dinner last week and the topic of legend came up and he himself even said he considers me a legend. I'm like, I'm your uncle. I'm your uncle. Okay. I don't know why, but yes, okay. I see. I'm getting tongue-tied right now when I think about it, and people think of me as a legend. It's so humbling.
It's crazy.
It hits me here every time.
Yeah.
Every
So
time.
cool. This is about to be great. What's his all-time favorite fingerboard item? Cool.
All-time favorite fingerboard item.
Could be anything. Could be the tool.
Yeah, it could be. That's very broad. But if there's one that I'm kind of glad that I have in my possession, it's there's actually a few one of a kinds that I have. So the day that I met Martin in Toronto, when he came for that Tech meeting, he gave me a one of a kind Berlin wood that had a branded Black River logo on it. It was just a complete red bottom ply.
Ooh.
Yeah, still have that one.
Nice.
I hope I'm pronouncing this company correct. Big Boudel, is that how you pronounce it?
Big Boydle.
Big Boydle. He wanted to work out a trade, and he said he would make me a one-of-a-kind ramp. And it's this massive, like, just all banks everywhere, and then like a mani pad on top, and it does like this weird like shape. Oh, it's beautiful, and it's painted in brick. It looks like bricks.
Send me a picture. We'll put it in the episode.
For sure.
Sick.
I got a couple other one-of-a-kind boards, but I think those are like my two prized ones, like that I really, really like. I'm glad that I have those. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Ask him, can he make a collection video? Yeah, that would be cool. Can you make a collection video?
Collection of like all my fingerboards. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
I mean, I could, but I would have to go digging into the archives and the storage because I ran out of a lot. I ran out of a lot of room.
Okay.
If I'm just going to focus on a video collection of just boards, that's going to be a lot easier to do than like ramps and
Oh, that's
stuff
what I assumed is just boards.
Yeah. If it's boards, yeah, I could probably do that.
That would
Sure.
be sick.
We'll see what happens.
Maybe part 2 with the ramps some other time. But yeah, that would be awesome. We got an answer from Andrew.
I've lost a lot of the collection though.
Oh,
Some of the collection I don't have anymore. Through trades and stuff like that. Like decks went for ramps and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's all right though.
yeah.
On your deck, the last time I saw him some years ago would have been the last time he was at your place. Is when you said that. On my back porch at the old house.
Oh, so that would have been Rendezvous 25.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow. I mean, was I a smoker at that time? 2017? No, I wasn't. Oh, I was vaping. That's probably why I said that. Because cigarettes are analog and vaping is digital.
Yeah.
He's got a great memory.
He's a librarian, like literally, but also like he has that memory. Like he remembers all kinds of like intricate details and stuff.
I wish I was like that.
Me too. I'm like if you remind me of something enough, I can like bring up the memory in my head and remember it. But like, you really gotta dig for it. You know?
Yep.
Some people like they remember every little detail, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I think I remember that, or like, yeah, I remember that. Who was there again? Like it's like very fuzzy, but it's there. And yeah, some people just get every little detail. Like Jay's really good with dates. Like he could tell you like when something was, and I'm like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah. If it wasn't for Facebook, it'd be really hard for me to remember people's birthdays.
Yeah.
That's bad to say, but it's just the truth. I have a real hard time with dates.
Tim Hurley.
Tim!
You were just saying you wanted to meet him.
Yeah.
Well, here, you can meet him through this question.
Shoot.
What has kept you fingerboarding after all these years?
That's a great question. And I don't think it's the act of fingerboarding. I think it's the people in the community that keep me wanting to do it. Because the more events I go to, the more new people I meet, and the more old friends I get to see. And I mean, yeah, fingerboarding it's a lot of fun, but I find that a lot of the time when I go to events or gatherings, we're not fingerboarding that much. We're pretty much just, hanging out, doing something that we all love to do. And yeah, we do get some fingerboarding in, but there's times where I don't even put my camera out. I just go fingerboard with my friends and have a good time and don't even worry about filming sometimes. It's just there to be in the moment. And that's what I love the most about it, and that's why I keep doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely, that's a big part of it. How would your Black River signature ramp look like?
How would my Black River signature ramp look like? Well, let's see what some of my favorite ramps are. Oh man, you know what I would love to see? I think it still already exists. It might exist. Is like a snake run.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
That would be wild.
Right? I think I would like that, but that's not a signature ramp. What I like
Could be, but it would be nuts.
I like anything with a ledge. I like rails, but I prefer something with a ledge, like a bank to a ledge or something along those lines. Like one of my favorites is the D-Rex ledge. I love the D-Rex ledge.
That was a fun one.
And I'm so glad I still have one.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a classic. All right, so it's going to be a snake run style bank with a ledge on it, like a curvy bank or something with a ledge.
That would be great.
That would be sick.
Hey, Black River, if you're listening or watching.
Oh, that would be so cool.
I actually have an idea for you. I'm not going to put it on video, but after when we're done, I'm going to talk to you about an idea.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Cool. All right, somebody said do a nollie tray.
Nollie tray.
Is the table in the frame?
We'll see how many tries this takes. I'm not very good at nollie trays, but we'll see how this goes. Nope. Ooh.
That was close.
Nope. Nah, it's overspinning. I think we're gonna have to skip this one.
Nope. Nah, you got it. One of those was close.
Why couldn't you ask for fakey tray? Nah. Let's try this one. No, it's spinning too much. Fakey tray. There you go. The nollie tray, yeah, it's a difficult one for me. Heel, anything heel, and nollie trays are my nemesis.
Yeah. Yeah, I put my fingers on it like kind of more like here rather than like over it more, just like kind of on the edge. I don't know if that helps.
Ah.
Oh, that was just about it. Yeah.
Sketchy. We'll take that one, or else we'll be here all night.
Cool. We can cut out all the attempts, so it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite SpongeBob character?
You're gonna hate me for this.
You don't watch SpongeBob? That's okay.
I've seen bits and parts of episodes, but I've never seen a full episode from start to end.
All right.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in watching one?
Sure.
Sick. We'll watch a nice old one. The old ones are really funny.
Yeah, I remember you were talking. Was it Jeff? Was it Jeff you were talking to about?
Stefan, probably.
Stefan, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how the first and second season were like the best.
Yeah, they're so good. We'll pull one up while we're eating dinner or something.
Cool.
Oh, Chris Daniels said, what are some of your fingerboard related highlights? I think we did that too.
Yeah.
Unless you have any additional ones.
Well, one thing that if Chris is going to be watching this, and I'm sure he will because he asked the question, I still remember meeting him at a rendezvous, and he loved listening to 80s music. And I thought to myself, this cat is so young and loves 80s music. I know I'm going to hit it off great with him. And he's become like my 80s buddy. He's my 80s buddy. Chris, what's up, 80s buddy?
Cool. Oh yeah. How's the legend doing these days? And would love to see a kickflip from this beast.
All right, let's do the kickflip. The legend again.
Yep. Yeah.
First try. Let's see if we can get a cleaner one. Ah. There you go.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
Nice and clean.
Beautiful. How does he feel about being the grandfather of fingerboarding?
I'm not the grandfather anymore. No, somebody else has taken that title.
Oh yeah, true.
That's Nestor now.
Yeah.
I think Nestor is the grandfather of fingerboarding.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
So cool. That's another person I'd love to meet, Nestor. Grandfather? And why am I considered the grandfather? I'm not that freaking old. Come on.
Yeah. No, there are older people than you fingerboarding too.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
I believe it.
But that's funny. How does he feel about fingerboarding coming to Instagram instead of YouTube?
I had a feeling somebody was going to ask that one. Okay, how much time do we have? No, I mean, listen, everything has to evolve. Nothing can ever stay the same.
Yep.
Right?
That's true.
So the only thing that I don't like about Instagram, well, there's a few things that I don't like about Instagram, is I can't see people's faces when they're fingerboarding anymore. Because everybody, it's so close on the hand. Where at least with YouTube, you kind of had like those wider shots and like people like put a lot more, I guess, effort into making their videos.
Yeah.
I also like that you can't go back to something by searching it by title or something like that.
That's a big one for me.
If you don't save that clip to your favorites, good luck finding it again.
Yeah.
And the attention span. It's so quick. I like sitting back, watching a nice full length and maybe collab montages with other people and stuff like that. That's, I guess, the old school in me, I guess.
No, I like that too. I agree. And it's like when I'm on Instagram, this is going to sound really weird, but like I only want to see photos. I don't want to see videos because it started out as photos and that's what I know it as. And like when videos came on there, it was just like, oh, and I have to like wait and watch this, and like I'm not on here to watch videos. Like when I want to watch a video, I want to sit at the computer and watch it, and it's big, full screen, high quality, nice sound quality from my speakers, and like somebody put in a lot of effort, and people put in effort on Instagram too, but like you said, it just goes away, and it's like it's not the same type of effort when you know it's not as permanent. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And if you get distracted when you're watching an Instagram video, or you miss something, it's not like you can scroll back. You got to watch the whole thing all over again to catch that part that you missed.
Yep.
So that's kind of annoying too. No play, pause, rewind, fast forward features. Who knows? Maybe they might introduce that. We'll see.
They kind of started on like certain videos. You can like move now.
Oh,
like,
can you?
on the reels,
I haven't noticed.
Not on all. Only on like a reel, not on like a video post.
Oh, okay.
Which like should just be the same thing at this point.
Right?
But they're not. Whatever. It's evolving, like you said.
Yeah, so everything's got to go through, and who knows what the next thing is going to be. Like at some point,
Virtual reality.
Yeah, who knows? At some point, Instagram isn't going to be the hub of fingerboarding anymore. It's going to be a different platform, and we'll have to adapt to that one. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well,
I still try to bring people back to YouTube. Like I don't put my videos per se on Instagram. I'll put like a link saying, "Hey, if you want to check out this new video I did, visit my YouTube channel." Every now and then I'll put a video on Instagram, but most of the time I try to direct them back to YouTube.
I was trying that for a while, and now I'm posting them on both, because on YouTube my views are kind of down, and sometimes I'll only get like 3,000 or 4,000 on a video. It used to be like 10 every time.
Yeah.
And then I post it on Instagram, and it's always like 10 to 15,000 views. And I'm like, there's that many people who really want to watch a video on their phone? Like, all right, if you're watching it, you're watching it, so I'll put it there, you know? But it's like, you can't get the full experience when it's like 2 inches tall.
Yeah, I get your point, but I think it also has to do a lot with the attention span, because I posted a short on YouTube that got 4,000 views, and it was just me doing 3 simple, like a switch wall ride, double flip out, something like that. But yet a video that I post of actual fingerboarding gets like hundreds of views.
Yeah, I think it's the algorithm is promoting shorter content, and people are watching shorter content partially because of that, partially because of Instagram, and just like the way people are becoming wired, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know. I think you get a lot more out of something when you're focused on it for a longer thing. Like, whether it's a video or like podcasts and stuff, I don't want to hear an 8-minute clip from a podcast. I want to hear the full 2-hour podcast, you know? It's like, for me, that's my way of like really diving in, because otherwise you're just getting a snippet of something. You don't have the full context. You don't know. Like, some of them work on their own, sure. Like, if I just ask you a question out of a blue, it could be its own clip and it would make sense. But it's still not the same as if you watch this whole thing and you got to know you and you got to know me a little more, or whatever it is, and then the question hits, and it's like you have a little bit of stuff surrounding that, and it makes it that much more valuable to like...
And nobody says you have to sit down and watch the full 2 hours in one sitting.
Right, you can pause it.
Yeah, break it up.
Sometimes it breaks something up into like 4 days.
Yeah.
Like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, here and there.
Yeah. I mean, I'll admit it. I've watched every single one of your podcasts, but there have been times where I wasn't able to complete it in one night. Something comes up. I got to go do this, got to go do that, got to pause it and watch it again the next day.
For sure.
Where I left off.
Yep.
It saves where you left off, so you don't have to go searching for it.
I know, that's so nice. I do like that. That's kind of newer.
Yeah, that's a really cool feature.
Yeah. But yeah, totally. Like, people need to engage with long form content more, especially to counteract the faster and shorter paced attention span stuff that's bombarding us everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some of it's good, but it's just like you don't want to be stuck in that mode.
No. No. Won't be me.
What's your opinion on HD versus VX, and which do you prefer?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not very tech savvy when it comes to like videography.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't tell you what the difference between VX and HD is. I'll say I prefer HD because that's what I usually watch stuff in.
Yeah.
HD. But I don't know what VX is. I'll be the first to admit it. I don't understand what VX means.
Like standard, basically VX is a specific camera, so what they should have said is technically like HD or SD, like standard.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, see, this is where I've actually was thinking about this just the other day. So everybody wants high quality, right? They want to see everything in high quality.
Yeah.
But yet, some people make their videos look like low quality, but shown in high quality. That's something I don't understand. Like you're using a filter to make it look like SD, but it's being portrayed in HD. It's being shown in HD. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those videos I have, like the old VHS tracking scribbles.
But you can tell it's fake.
You can tell it's fake, yeah.
Yeah.
But you want high quality, but you're making it look like it's low quality. That's what I don't get between that. So
I think it's a mix of like nostalgia and
yes,
wishing you had the older camera,
but you can't get them anymore.
And whatever.
Yeah,
maybe.
But for me, I mean, I'm HD over SD. Absolutely. I mean, when I look at, like, I have like a lot of old videos and stuff like that, and you look at it and you're like, how did we even watch anything like that? It's like you can't even see any like details and blah. It's everything's so blurred. Oh no, HD.
Nice.
Somebody just sent me a question.
Whoa.
Because I posted your story on my story, so I think he thought he had to ask me the question personally. Should I read it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from my brother-in-law's cousin, Flavio. He said, you have so many things you're passionate about. Shoes, fingerboarding, your business. But what is your biggest passion that most people don't know about?
Ooh.
Flavio, that's a great question. What am I passionate about that people don't know about? Oh, I mentioned it earlier. I don't get to do it as often as I would like, but body surfing, believe it or not, I love it.
Cool.
And you could see it when I'm doing it because my niece Jaina, when she saw me body surf for the first time, I guess she must have seen like the joy in my face or just the way that I was doing it, that when I came back to shore, she goes, Uncle Sid, that was inspirational.
Wow.
I was like, I was just catching waves. What are you talking about? She was like, no, that was inspiring. For you at your age, still loving to do something like this, that is inspiring.
Cool.
And I was like, wow. But yeah, I'm very passionate about body surfing. Love it. I wish I could do it more often than I am able to.
Yeah. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
And the inspiring part too is really cool in a way.
It's so crazy.
I wouldn't have thought of it that way either, but when somebody else does, it like brings a different perspective to you, right? And you're like, oh, cool, like there's just so many angles to everything.
Yeah, something that can mean like the most minute thing to you can be like jaw-dropping for somebody else.
Yeah.
And have a completely different impact on someone. Like I started doing my channel thinking I was just going to make videos for fun and people were going to watch them. I never thought people were going to consider me a legend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. But yeah, when she said that, I was like, wow. I was glad I was able to inspire you.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And that's awesome. So weird how that just came up on my watch.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, seriously. Would you go back to the 90s and repeat life from there on?
Knowing what I know now? In a heartbeat. If I could go back knowing, I think about this shit all the time too.
Yeah.
If I could go back knowing what I know now, oh man, I don't even think I would go. I would start the 90s. I think I would start in the 80s.
Cool.
And I'd go even further back, man. Because then I know, okay, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. I may not have to work a day in my life. I could just invest and live off of that for the rest of my. No, honestly, I would love to go back and relive. I think anybody would. If you had all your great memories, I think anybody would love to go back and relive those memories. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Cool.
But yeah, 90s was a great decade. 90s was a really good decade for me anyway. That was like my club years, party years.
Does being a dad have an influence on your fingerboarding lifestyle?
In the beginning, yeah, I thought, I have this daughter. She sees that I'm making these videos. She actually had a couple fingerboards of her own. So I thought we were going to become like this fingerboarding duo as time progressed. No, that didn't happen. She lost interest in it. And you know what?
Yeah.
That's cool. It wasn't her thing. She had fun with it when she did. But has it influenced my fingerboarding, being a dad? I don't know.
Or like maybe your ability to fingerboard when you want, or I don't know. Like,
I mean, yeah, my daughter was young when I started, and she was my priority. But I always made time for myself too. That's super important. Like, your family is your priority, but you got to make time for yourself also. Like, and I do that every night. And my wife only, I think, recently has come to realize why I do this. But at night, we spend time together. And then there's a certain point at the night where I just go to the office and I watch YouTube videos, or I watch Netflix, or I catch up on messages and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, why do you do that every night? And I go, well, I just need some time to myself. It's nothing against you. I love you with all my heart. And it's nothing against Haley. I love her with all my heart. It's just something I need to do for me.
Yeah.
So don't take any offense to it. And you have to make time for yourself.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I really appreciate having some amount of alone time, and then if I have that, it allows me to enjoy my time with anyone and everyone, Yeah. And it's like, if you go nonstop for days and days and days and you don't have your alone time, you start to get irritable and drained and weird, and then sometimes just do something by yourself, chill out, relax, recharge, and then it's like, all right, I miss you guys, get back in here. It's like, I don't know if everyone needs that, but probably everyone needs it to some degree. Some people more than others, some people less than others. But it's like, I think people are mostly social generally, but you also need some time to just like chill out.
For sure. Absolutely.
Can you kickflip blindfolded first try? You can just block your eyes, but
I don't think that's going to happen. How about if I close my eyes? Would that be considered blindfolded?
yeah.
All right. So, eyes are closed. Got the board. And we're going to do first try?
Yep.
All right.
It didn't flip.
It didn't even flip.
Yeah. Oh, that was it.
No. Okay, one more try.
You got this.
Oh, that was interference. That was interference. All right, one more try. Nope. It's not going to happen.
You got it. Keep going.
No, he said first try.
Okay, he did say first try. Oh, well. What was the first wooden fingerboard you ever bought? Is that the one you said before?
The D2 from Fingerdex.
Cool. They don't exist anymore?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
When did you start fingerboarding?
May 24th, 2009.
Wow, you have the day.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's easy for me to remember because that's a long weekend of ours. It's Victoria Day long weekend.
Cool.
And that was the weekend that my nephew Nicholas brought up all his ramps.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I started my channel on November 1st, 2009.
Cool.
Oh, and somebody actually made a comment on that video, like a decade later. They put 00:00, a legend is born. And that one really got me. Like I got like a little misty in the eye when I saw that comment. I was like, holy, that's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's so cool. How the idea came up to film a Dumb One promo?
Oh, Sam came to me with that idea. Sam Maroney.
Cool.
So I think he had just started Dumb One, and he's like, I want to send you a couple decks so you could check out and maybe possibly do a review. I don't think I ended up doing the review. Sorry, Sam. But he was like, I want you to do this intro for one of my videos. And he goes, I want it so that you're going to be doing an unboxing, and then you're going to lift the box up to the camera, and then it's going to be, I had it stuffed with green papers for the green screen, and then it's going to go into my fingerboarding video. And I was like, I'm down.
Oh, sick.
I was like, I'm down for that. That sounds amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I don't know, I think he posted it on his channel.
I want to see that. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's an old one, so we might have to do some deep diving.
Cool. Sounds fun.
Yeah, and actually I did it on the desk in my store.
Nice.
Because that was part of the days when I was there 7 days a week. So I can only do it in the store because I was there 24/7.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's it. That was the last one.
That was the last one?
Let's refresh it before we say that.
But that was a great last question.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we got one more last minute question.
Shoot.
Favorite sandwich? And you can go into great detail because it sounds like our food's ready, so I don't care how hungry we get.
Favorite sandwich? I've recently cannot stop having the rotisserie chicken sandwich at Subway.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys have the rotisserie chicken option here, but it's available now in Canada. Oh my God. It is so good. Not only because it's good, but because it's real chicken. It's not that chicken patty that they make for the grilled chicken. No, it's actual pulled rotisserie chicken, and it is delicious. But if I'm making my own sandwich, this one's going to be a little bit off the wall because it's kind of a sandwich and it's not a sandwich. So what I do, and my wife is going to laugh her ass off when she watches this because she hates it when I do it, but I love beef patties. So I take a beef patty, I cook it, cut it open, flip it open, throw some ketchup, some mayo, some lettuce, some onions, some pickles, and then fold that thing back up, and you got yourself a patty sandwich.
Nice.
That's so good. I recommend you try it.
I'm down.
Oh yeah, soup up your beef patty. There's no other way to eat it.
Yeah.
No other way.
Cool. I would definitely try that. That sounds great.
I think you'll love it.
Nice.
Are you a spicy beef patty or mild?
No spice.
Yeah, me too. I like spicy food, but for some reason not the beef patty. It doesn't work for me. I like it mild.
Yeah, I don't have a high tolerance for spice anymore. I used to when I was young, or like go for the spiciest things I could, and now it's like I can't handle it anymore. But I like a lot of the spicy flavors, so it's like a challenge because it's like I want to eat it, but I can't. But like I gotta find the ones that I can because certain spice I can deal with, but not if it's too spicy or like the wrong kind of spice that like gets you too much. So
yeah, that's kind of the reason why my cousin started his. He's got a hot sauce business now. Like he
sick. That's cool.
He started a couple years ago. So him and 3 of his friends, they all happen to be fathers, and so the idea behind the recipes of the hot sauces was to bring their heritage into these sauces.
Nice.
So they called it Forefathers. That's the name of the company. It's spelled Four to resemble 4 people, but also these ideas for the sauces came from their forefathers.
Sweet.
I said that is the best name I've ever heard.
That's great.
For a brand. And then their logo too, it's just like a silhouette of all of them having their arms over each other, all standing in a line. It's a great company, Forefathers.
Nice.
I would recommend it to you, but you're not really into hot sauce anymore.
Well, certain ones I will.
So they have 4 different levels. They have the jalapeno, which is the mild. Then they have the habanero, cayenne. Then the piri piri, which is the Portuguese style one. And then there's the habanero. So it goes mild, semi-mild, medium, hot.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really good.
I'll try some mild. I do like jalapeno. For sure.
It's a nice spread. Yeah, it's very good.
Do they sell them here?
I could find out if
you
not.
have to bring it next time.
Or maybe I could ship you some.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That would be so fun.
They're glass bottles, so we're going to have to find a way to
wrap it up nice.
Wrap them really nice. Lots of bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap, paper. Should be good to go.
For sure. No problem.
Yeah, I have a really good hot sauce I like right now. It's like mild buffalo something. What is that? It's so good.
Yeah, it's mild buffalo.
Like a buffalo wing sauce?
Yeah, it's amazing.
So good. I like anything buffalo.
Yeah. So good. Cool. We'll end it on the hot sauce.
All right.
That was amazing.
That was so much fun. I loved it.
blast.
I knew it was going to be fun, but I didn't think it was going to be this fun.
Yeah, that's great. Super cool. I'm glad we got to make this happen.
Me too. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
Loved it.
Good stuff.
All right.
Yeah, follow his YouTube if you don't already. I'm sure you already do. And yeah.
Keep fingerboarding. 2 fingers. Peace. I had to throw it in there.
Perfect.